Thank you, listeners. You're now listening to Soundscapes. I'm sitting here with my good friend Ephraim, and I really enjoy this man. He's done a lot for the local music scene in Heidelberg, Germany, where we're also located at. He's also a person who will just take on any challenge. You can really throw anything at him, and I admire that. So I'm really glad to have him here and get into just sort of a dialogue about just different things, about the world, about music. Yeah, Ephraim, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah. First, you said Ephraim.
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 Yeah, I want to spell it because everybody is pronounce it a little bit wrong. It's Ephraim. But the funny thing is that we had a lot of live things and live internet things, and often the artists wrote me wrong, even in the chat. They called me like Ibrahim or Ephraim or Ephraim or whatever. But I have now a folder at home at my PC, and there are all the pictures with my wrong names. I will collect them for maybe some art.
Dude, that's really cool.
Yeah, cool. No, I'm thankful to be here. Cool. Really, I miss to meet people and to talk and drink a glass of wine. And I also appreciate your work. Like, we worked together 2 or 3 times, and every time it was super chilled. So props to your project.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, feelings mutual. Definitely respect the work that you do, and seeing the way you work with passion, and you take on just the challenges at whatever it may be. Because I think the first time was Fat Tea at what was it, Betriebswerk here in Heidelberg, and then afterwards I think Metropolink. We also worked with Fat Tea together at the Schlossfest in Mannheim.
Yeah, right.
I forgot that one. Yeah, that was a cool gig.
Yeah. It was really cool. At the end, in the beginning, we had a small room, I remember, and it was like, there was some bands on the main stage, some pop rock, and we did this electro stuff. And at the end, they wanted to do they wanted another song, and then we freaked out at the end. I remember it was really cool, but in the beginning it was stressful. I remember for the sound and the vibe. And Lisa was close to fall off the stage.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Now, nice gigs with you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's just a little unfortunate with Corona and everything. Yeah. Prost, by the way.
Yeah. Cheers.
For the people who aren't able to watch and just listening, we're drinking some red wine from Spain. This is probably the only red wine that I actually know of and know a little bit about the origins.
I'm not good at red wine, but I heard Spain is always okay.
Okay. I just drink whatever's been given to me.
Yeah.
Not even like to be quite honest, I can't really tell the difference between a really good wine and a really bad wine. But that's just
Often I know it in the next morning with my headache or non-headache. Then this was a good alcohol or this was like benzene.
Benzene, what is gas for your car? Yeah. That reminds me of when I was like 16, 17. Me and my friends would buy. We had like a contact who would only buy us like 1 bottle of alcohol. So my thinking was, let's get the strongest alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like jet fuel.
Clever.
Yeah. It was probably one of the most painful drinking experiences. But when you're 16, you and probably 8 friends want to get really drunk. You just take what you get.
Yeah. But let's talk alcohol. That's a good, I like the subject because I'm German.
Alcohol.
Yeah, and in the beginning, I know in my youth, I was really like non-alcohol. I started with, I think, 80 to 20, somewhere there. And I really enjoyed it.
Dude, that's late.
Yeah, that's late.
For Germany, that's really late.
Yeah, my friends told me. They had a few years before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's since I started drinking, it's something in my life. So I think about it often, and I think about society and alcohol.
Okay.
And to be honest, the last few months, I really reflected myself also with alcohol. And for sure, I'm not addicted to alcohol, so it's not like I have to drink a beer in the evening, and if I not do it, I'm mad or stuff like that.
Yeah, like some Germans.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Like I know a lot of old people that drink a beer in the morning, and they are healthy for 90 years. But if they don't, I don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I reflected a lot, and yeah, also for me there was some I don't know how to translate or it was more or less I drink less alcohol now. That's what I experienced the last few months.
Well, it's probably because you started really late, so you didn't get through that
Yeah, maybe.
alcohol phase and discovery phase.
Yeah.
Now, what's your drink of choice?
Actually, I have a favorite beer.
Okay.
A Pils beer.
Yeah.
It's Rothaus.
Ah,
yeah, you have
one.
it here, the Tannenzäpfle. Yeah, the Tannenzäpfle. And for Weissbier, it's a different thing. It's Schneider's Weisse, Tab 7.
Don't know it.
Yeah, it's probably the best beer of Germany, I think. My favorite German beer.
Okay.
And for Kreuzle for Helles. Okay. There is like a new hype of Helles beer right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere in Germany. And I really like the Kreuzle.
Okay.
I tested. But okay, I'm not getting paid for this. It's only my taste. So do whatever you want.
Of course.
How did you start
drinking?
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol. Started with taking alcohol from sort of my parents' cabinet.
Ah, nice.
And then just like drinking in the garage, and then like taking a walk around the neighborhood, drunk with friends, not really understanding what this is. And then that was sort of like the beginning of it, with just sort of like drinking here and there. And then around like that was probably around like 15. And then when I started getting deeper into the American high school at 16, 17, I would start going to house parties, and then you would have drinking there. But in America, it's so difficult to actually get alcohol. It's way easier to actually get weed.
Wow. I heard it.
Yeah. So alcohol was like a rare thing, and it was like sometimes you'll be at the house party and the alcohol just like is not there anymore. And,
wow. Okay.
And you're just like hoping somebody walks in with a case of beer. Somebody walks in with a case of beer, and you're trying to distribute 24 beers to 50 people, and it's just.
Yeah. Even in Heidelberg, we had for years a delivery service. They brought us beer, like a lot of beer. During the night, like they drive to your home, bring it to the party, and leave. So
do they check ID?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course they are. Yeah, I think in Germany you have always to. The ID is really, really important. Like I get asked for my ID.
Really?
Yeah, and come on, I don't look like a. Maybe sometimes, but no, I don't look like. But they say that they have to do it because there are undercover people that watch them. So if they don't ask for license, you get kicked or stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay. And then what sort of like you're also a DJ, and that's also how we also know each other is just through the music scene. When you're DJing, do you have like a drink of choice? Do you go like hard liquors of like gin tonics or something like that?
So, yeah, it's different. I really like to drink when I DJ, I'm honest. I started DJing for money with weddings. So you get a lot of money doing weddings, I'm honest. Yeah. And I'm also like from a Christian background, and weddings, I know about weddings. So every year there was a wedding, and every year I went to a wedding of a friend or of my sibling or stuff like that. And then I started to go to parties and electronic scenes, and started DJing, and all of a sudden they gave me a lot of money to play at weddings. So I started there. But what I also started is when when I pressed the play button, I said, "Bring me a beer." And every time the beer is like empty, bring me another one.
So you're just getting shit-faced.
Yeah, that's the deal. And so more or less the party was directing how much I was drinking. If I don't like the wedding party and I don't like the people because they were not free and don't wanted to dance and blame you for their vibe, often it's stressful at a wedding. So I start to drink and be funny. And
you drink more and more.
Yeah, more and more.
So if it's a shitty party, you got obliterated drunk.
Yeah. My first weddings were like this.
Yeah.
And I remember the really first one. It was in Stuttgart, and I remember I was doing like okay. I got a lot of money, so I was professional. But in the end, the brother of the Bräutigam. What is Bräutigam in English?
Bräutigam. Is that the woman who's getting married?
No, the man.
The groom.
The groom, yeah. And the brother of the groom, he said, "Yeah, now everybody's gone, and I really like to finish the minibar, so I need a DJ right now." And we started to finish the minibar. I slept, I think, on the dance floor, and I got 50 extra bucks because they said you were a really chill company.
Yeah, cool.
That was really funny.
So that's sort of like a little bit like prostitution in a way. And escorts, you provide a good party, and then like afterwards you're like hanging around a little bit longer.
Yeah, so I don't know how prostitution feels, but it's the most prostitution thing I did, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
because I really in love with music, and I really like spend time, and I like good music, and I like good produced music, and also like if people are different, and often the choice of music I have is not the choice of my girls or my friends or people around me, but on a wedding, it's your job that you play their songs. So, and that's sometimes creepy. Yeah. So Helene Fischer, always, always,
unfortunately.
Helene, always. They won it 3 times in a row. So I get paid.
No, but I know wedding gigs. That's like what a DJ who like has a residency at like a all right club could get in one night DJing at a wedding. What they would get in a residency DJing 4 times in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things, and I did a wedding once, and after that experience, I said never again. It was not really my thing, because I felt like a Spotify playlist.
Yeah,
they just come up to you, they make requests, and they're paying you. But...
Yeah. Okay. I stopped doing weddings, so I can talk about it, I think. You don't have to like book me for your wedding, I think. But I did whole gigs with Spotify.
Yeah.
I asked if there is a Wi-Fi, and then after 10 minutes they went, "Can you please play this or that and whatever?" And I'm always in contact with them.
Yeah.
A month before we have Skype calls, and I always say, "Give me your favorite playlist," and blah blah. And on the day, it's every time it's different.
Yeah.
So, and the one wedding, there was a drunk old man, and he was like, "Yeah, why are you playing these shit songs? You are so commercial." And I was like, "Yeah, I am commercial because I'm at a wedding." So, and then they were like, "Now play this, and that." And I was like, "All right, I have all your songs, but I do a playlist now." And I played a playlist, and I got my money, and I went home. So
wow,
and they liked it more than when I do my job, my DJ job. So yeah.
Did you mix any of the songs? Because I know like Spotify, you can actually use DJ software and try to mix it.
This was one gig, and I not mixed. I did this auto mixing thing, but yeah, when I'm at a wedding and it's a good party, I mix 5 hours. So every song on the radio, So, and I'm good at it.
Yeah,
I know a lot of music, so I understand the music, and it's not if you're playing pop songs, the structure is often the same, and the harmonics are the same.
Yeah.
And so I know my 5 songs, they will fit into a big mashup. So I will play them after another, and everybody is cool with it.
Cool. Yeah. No, but I also think like DJing weddings helps you learn how to read a crowd.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's what's a lot of DJs actually are missing nowadays. Or the last 2 years is some DJs really struggle to read a crowd, and the importance of that, because you got to also take them on that journey, and you got to sort of like win them over first before you can start juggling in some stuff that's like, hey, I'm gonna trip you guys out now.
And every DJ should have his 5 favorite songs. He knows about that. This will fire up the crowd. So I know my songs for the wedding that like give fire to the crowd, and I like them too. I'm honest. These are my favorite wedding songs. Like, for example, Bruno Mars.
Oh, yeah.
He started with an album I really don't connect it. Like, Grenade. This Grenade song. Yeah. I would catch a grenade for whatever.
Does that work?
Of course not. It's too slow. The people want to dance, not... you can do it at 2 p.m. when they want to go to bed. So they start crying. But Bruno Mars developed. He's doing really good funk music.
That's very true.
And he's a good funk producer. So pick his funk songs, and they are great. So I really like them, and they're pushing me even.
Cool.
Also Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
A lot of songs, a lot of hits. But a few of them are really, really like, you cannot say this is bad music or bad produced or this will not catch the crowd.
Yeah.
Happy works all the time.
Very true.
But if you look really close to the production of Happy, it's also a masterpiece. It's pop music, okay, but the production, it's a masterpiece.
How so?
I watched it. I watched how they produced, how they mixed, and how they mastered. And it was like a big learning for me. I was like, okay, you are the best guys in the world, and even you do it different this time. So you are not following your everyday structure. The mastering guy was like, on this song I will do it like this. Normally I will do it like this, but this time it's special and whatever. And I understood what he was talking about. And you really listen to the difference. It's about that the song is not flat. The song is a big room, and the song invites you to dance even with the frequency, like how the frequency hits and which frequencies are high and which are low. So the people who produce this song, they really know what they're doing. Yeah. Even if it's not your favorite taste of music, you should respect like quality. Yeah. That's what I also learned on the wedding gigs. Yeah.
Crazy. Going to that song Happy. And so by the way, I'm a huge Pharrell Williams fan.
Yeah.
Pretty much I'm born hip hop and Pharrell fan. And the track Happy was originally for Despicable Me 2. And they put it on Despicable Me 2. That like with the minions and all that stuff, and afterwards that song didn't really pop as much as like they probably thought it would, or there was other songs on that album that was co-produced with Pharrell Williams and Hans Zimmer. So Hans Zimmer did all like the theater stuff, big theatrical stuff, and Pharrell Williams did all the fun stuff in the audio. And Happy didn't blow up off that, but then a year later he released that like 24-hour long music video.
I remember.
And then after that was like a whole game changer, and everybody thought that was like his new hit. And I remember just sitting there, because anything that's produced by Pharrell, I listen to it, even if it's a Despicable Me 2 album.
Yeah,
he's my favorite, so it's like gotta listen to him. And I listened to it, and I thought whatever, like it was a good, well done, but it's not definitely my vibe. But to see the traction that song got when it was just about the song instead of about the movie, it took over the world. Like the whole world was dancing, turning in their videos and everything. But it also just goes to show how powerful sometimes music can be.
And there's also a lesson I learned about there's a lot of critique about this pop culture or this flat music they call, like this 808 trap. They say, wow, it's so one-dimensional. And but these arguments, they were there for every popular music.
Yeah.
This is only one-dimensional production, too much compressors, whatever. And often, yeah, that's true, but somehow that attracts whatever. In the radio, you find over-compressed songs and really good songs, and it doesn't matter. People like it. So, but yeah, of course, you should respect popular music. In the end, also as an artist, or as if you're a techno producer, or if you're a DJ, or even if you are doing salsa with a band, it doesn't matter. In every kind of music, there's a lesson for you. Even if it's Schlager and you listen to this one Schlager song and listen to the bass and you are, wow, the bass catches me. I need that bass, that sound, and this, like on this point of the song, it's perfect. Actually, I know there is a story behind this. The Schlager thing I have to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
I was working in a lot of different places, and once I was working at a fair. Is it called fair? Messe?
Yeah, a convention.
A convention, yeah. And I had to build it. So before the convention, I was there to build something, and then after the convention, we packed it and went home. And my crew was listening to Schlager 24/7.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I have to work here 1 week, 10 hours with them and listen to Schlager. And they had one CD, so it was like a repetition. Wow. So I know all of Andrea Berg now. Yeah. I never listened before, but wow. It is not my music, but yeah, it works. And somehow there was this one song, and I don't even listen to the singer or the keyboard or whatever. It was the bass that catches me. And every time the song came, I was like, okay, there's something in the bass I really like, and I need to understand what it is. And yeah, so I figured it out 7 days. You only need your challenge and go into the detail. Okay. I think, yeah.
So do you now know all of his bass lines?
No. And I'm also the opinion that a lot of bass lines they use in Schlager, but it's my opinion. Yeah, they take from the club. Like,
yes, Schlager. If you listen to it, it's so trancey.
Yeah. And it was the other side around. I was used to listen to a lot of pop songs and some Schlager from all people. It was not my favorite, but I knew a few of them. And then I went to the club and I was like, wow, all the ideas I listened to, they start here. This is the pure thing of the electronic, pure thing of what they produced of. Like the information of this song is the pop song, or 3 pop songs. You can choose one groove and you will find it in many other songs. Yeah. So this was more or less what I thought about.
So was that your like realization of like the importance of underground scene, or like this avant-garde, the forefront?
Yeah, maybe. Or it was the point when I stopped like searching and started to find. Okay. It was more like, now I can relax. So much information here. So, and I'm really happy to I was really happy to go to techno parties in the beginning. It was like a new thing for me. Yeah. I realized the underground that the underground is maybe the inspiration of a lot of popular music.
Well, if you really look at it, just the sounds itself, like the 808, for example, and how it's used in trap. Yeah. Had it not been for the Miami bass scene or the LA bass scene with the 808s, it probably would have never evolved into the trap that we have, especially with these like sliding bass kicks. Yeah, so there's a lot of importance that is found in the underground. But going down to sort of like your first techno party, how'd that come about? Was it accident or?
It was it was in the Halle 02, actually Halle 03. When I started in Heidelberg, the Halle 02 had 3 different parts. It was Halle 01, Halle 02, Halle 03. It was all the same club, but they called it like this, so there were different parties on every dance floor.
Oh, shit.
And on the 03, it was always electro. Yeah, I think it was Electro Gravity, my first party. And I went with my friends to Halle 01. I don't know. I think we did rock. There was rock music or, some kind of German rock, I think. Yeah. Was a cool party, a little bit drunk, and I don't want to go home. And then Magdalena, a friend of mine, she said, let's go to techno. What is techno? And even, what are you talking about? And come on, let's sneak in. And then we went to the Halle 03, and I was like, oh, funny, I never been to this place. There's a door, let's go in. And then somebody said, can I see your ticket? And she was like, yeah, go. And we went into the party. I haven't paid, I'm honest, but it was the best time I had. Really? Like, I looked at people, I not danced or stuff like that. I listened to this fucking bass, and people were standing on the subwoofers dancing like shit, and everybody was happy and, hey, cool, you are here, and hey, come, be free, dance. And everybody was inviting me, and it was a little family, and it was like, what? I never been to a party like this. And since then I had 1 or 2 or 3 techno parties a week.
That started that.
I started dancing to techno. Crazy. I never danced before, and then I started this left-right thing, and I was like into it, hour for hour. It's a journey to yourself.
Yeah.
At one point there was like, this party is cool, but I'm going there because of dancing, chilling, and finding myself, and not even the others. If I need them, we can talk, but sometimes I want to be at my own.
Yeah.
And I found a place where I could live this. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. Sounds very romantic.
Yeah, techno was romantic to me.
No, but I think everybody sort of who's been at one of these type of parties like has that similar vibe where all of a sudden it comes to them and they just fall in love with it. Yeah. And you see it. I've seen people who've been in the scene for 20 years and they talk about their first story, and it's almost the same. It's almost the same as today. Yeah. Except sometimes there's a little bit of these commercialized techno parties, and I think some people techno has become sort of somewhat of a scene where it's like you want to be seen there.
Yeah. Totally.
And put on Instagram and
that's a part of parties I never understood. Like, you came in and a lot of is about that people see you and they recognize you. That gives you a good feeling if you go in and like the doorman says, oh, hi, Apple. Oh, hi, that feels good. And then people come in, oh, they look good today. And the whole talk about the vibe and, oh, what is he dressing? Have you heard the story of this guy? Oh, he was playing not that good today. Like, this whole stuff.
It's like high school.
Yeah, and it's not even why I'm here. Like, I'm here because of, like, 4 bass drums no, it's 2 bass drums in a second if you play 120 beat.
Yeah, but you're talking about the 4 on the floor.
4 on the floor, and it has to be a big ass, like a big bass, and then you get lost, and that's it. And not even looking for others or like comparing to others. You can look and be inspired, but this whole comparison, and also with DJs, I experience it and I don't like it. I'm honest. Yeah,
the comparison of DJs, I think, is a little bit something we should avoid.
Yeah.
But the comparison of the people when you go to these events, and sort of the cliques that show up there, like you just said, it sort of takes the magic away from it. Like, I actually want to go to a techno party, and I want nobody to know me.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to disappear on the smoky dance floor and then just reemerge here and there in like the smoking room and maybe talk to people, but quite often it's sort of like it can be quite a spiritual experience.
Yeah, it was like that's my beginning. I went alone. Like I started partying techno. Yeah, I remember I was at home at the weekend and I was like, yeah, I want to do something, but I want to be by my own or whatever. I don't want to meet people and drink a lot of alcohol. I want to rest, but also I'm like hyperactive. I need something to do and I don't want to go to skate or it's evening or I drank 2 beer and now I'm in a mood and I decided to go to Halle 02 by my own or to a techno party. I even decided to go to Berlin by my own. I went into the train and went to Tresor once. I wrote somebody on Couchsurfing, hey, is there somebody who want to come with me to Tresor? DJ Rush is playing. And he was like, yeah, of course. I'm from Netherlands. I come with you. And it was the beginning of my techno time. And I remember I drank water the whole day because I felt like in a fitness club. I was dancing and I was sweating and I was hyped and I needed water and not beer or other stuff. And we came out of the club and I know he said to me, wow, dude, that was so amazing. And it was the first party in month I haven't took a pill. And it was like, what is a pill?
The innocence.
the cute, innocent one, yeah. But this was my favorite techno time. Like that I had thought and I was like, I go to this club right now. I went into the train. I went to this DJ. I listened to him 4 hours. I went home. Even if it's 10 hours to go home, I don't care. Because the music really attracted me. Yeah. And took me, yeah.
Crazy DJ Rush.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a perfect vibe.
What year was it?
I think 5 to 6 years. I'm honest. I don't remember actually the year, but it must be like 5 to 6 years now.
Okay, crazy. Yeah, I would dream to see DJ Rush, but I don't think he plays that often anywhere.
I don't. So I went to Tresor this time and not to DJ Rush. I'm honest. I never listened to him before.
Fully okay.
But I was in Berlin and then I wanted to go to an open air at Teufelsberg. Yeah. And after this, it was like, okay, now I have time. I don't want to go home. Blah blah blah. And then I went to Tresor because I listened to and I watched a YouTube documentation and they talked about Tresor and I was like, wow, I have to see this. This like tradition. This is living techno tradition. So I have to go there. So.
Yeah. Now, Tresor is legendary. Never been myself, but hopefully one day when I do go, it'll be to play.
Yeah, go there.
Yeah.
So even if it's different, it's not the old Tresor. They talk about, the old parties and whatever. It has a vibe. Yeah. I mean, for everybody who comes from a village or a little city, Berlin has a vibe.
Yeah.
But especially this location had a vibe for me. This like 3 minutes going through underground tunnels to a dance floor and it looks like a cage and you see nothing. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I never experienced this here. And I never also experienced what people were doing at parties.
Yeah. You in Berlin, you see what it's really what it can really escalate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are two. It's like a magnet, escalation, and freedom.
Yeah.
And it's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I also felt the freedom that people can do whatever they want. And I really like this vibe. If you feel that way, outlive it. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to stress other people. But if you want to experience some substance or if you experience some whatever, if you want to try it, you should have the freedom. But on the other side, you should know your escalation level, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're lying down in a club because you're on ketamine, so
yeah.
that's not sexy. You should know this.
Not cool. It's not cool.
That's not like stay precious, man.
Yeah. No, it's just use substances just to enhance the experience, and then in a case like if you're just knocked out on a dance floor, then you really sort of escalated it too far, went a little bit too far. And I hope people who do that learn from that and then start reducing that consumption.
Yeah, I hope, but I'm not like judging because I've been there.
Yeah.
I drank a lot of alcohol, and I'm also experienced different things, and I also had to experience where's the border.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm honest. I could do it with good friends, with really close friends, and if you are like in the spot that you lose control or stuff like that, you should have good friends or really close people by your side.
People you just trust.
Yeah.
To take care
and
of.
Also people, they say to you, hey, next time, chill.
Yeah. Oh, I have a few of those friends.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy, sort of like what happens in like these major cities, and I sort of wish everybody who really does love partying and techno gets to at least experience something like Berlin. There's also cities like Paris that have it, London has it, Amsterdam. That was sort of like my big deep touch with sort of like underground music and sort of just experiences there. Yeah, and like there's also like the LGBTQ scenes really big in this world, and I remember going to sort of like one of my more first underground parties, and I actually had no clue it was but it all now made sense towards the end of the evening that it was a gay event, and then when I was just talking to some people and somebody came up to me and was just like very respectfully like, hey, do you like boys or girls? Like girls. I'm just like very sitting there, and he's like, okay, well, me and these guys are gonna go over there, and they were like saying their plans, and I was just like blown away at how transparent and nice they were about it. And the communications also, like that's one of the other things that's like I think is undervalued in sort of the underground, is quite often people are very respectful and communicate things.
This also was my first impression. I also had experience in clubs that were not nice, like people were mad or even aggressive on good parties, like everybody was welcome, good electronic music, everybody was dancing, and all of a sudden I get knocked. Like somebody put like give me like a
headbutt.
Yeah, a headbutt. And I was like, what is happening here? And he was like this to me, and I hit you. And I was like, I go home now. Sorry, I was dancing. I don't know you, and I'm really somewhere else. So I went home, and I had a bad day. But also this happens sometimes. Of course, these parties are not like with a contract of being nice.
Yeah, that's very true.
But also I experienced the freedom, and me also. It was like I went to this place because I felt that people can outlive whatever they wanted, like the intuition of them. They wanted to experience some stuff, and the party was the place they were able to, and it was respected, and that's cool. Yeah, and I think I will, forever. I will stay with the scene forever. at least once in a half a year.
But there hasn't been a really party in the last half year at least, and if not, we can really look at it. It's been almost a year. Since
that's
last.
right.
How have you been coming along with Corona and everything going on with your music?
My personal development, I would say, was I think the studio stuff. I really wanted to do a studio, like build a studio, sitting in a studio, people coming, talking to me. I record artists. I do my own stuff. This is what I dreamed about. And the year I wanted to start a studio and rent a room and stuff like that. That was 2020.
Yeah.
So now I have a home studio, really good home studio, and a lot of instruments, and I can record my drum set. And I really learned how to play quiet drums. And this is
quiet drums.
I play in my bedroom, and I have neighbors, and I want to play every day. So you have to be really, really soft.
Yeah.
And listen to Kuambing, the band. It's a 3-man band.
Yeah.
And they always play really, really like quiet.
Yeah.
And the drummer of them, he sits like lazy. He's doing not a lot, but it's groovy as fuck. Yeah. And then I realized, okay, I can be the best rock star, but if I cannot like play silent, there's nothing. Like you need a dynamic.
It's like jazz as well. Like just be able to get that feel where it's just like
I mean, if you're a progressive rock fan, you should create a sound of wall. So don't listen to that. But if you like want to, it was for me a step further. Yeah. So to experience, if I play really quiet, I'm not that good, and I have to train like rudimentals and stuff like that. And also, I started to record drums. This is a new experience, like tuning drums, compressors, overhead mics, and all of this stuff. Yeah. So I had a lot to do, and I built my studio actually without a room.
Yeah. No, it's in your bedroom?
It's in my bedroom.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about it, and like you also painted your entire wall. For a green screen. So you're like in Heidelberg, a very big, important streaming hub right now.
Yeah, and this is the second thing I experienced. It's new, but I feel like I want to do it. Like this whole streaming game. I talk a lot, and I don't like to be by myself. So this is an opportunity if you are by your own and you want to like get inspiration or show yourself or get like some people who likes you or get your applause. Also, I mean, I'm an artist. I like to get applause. That's often that's why I do it. Like people should go with me on a journey, and they should respect and like it. That's what I think I'm doing in the best case. Yeah, but if you are doing streaming, it's a little bit different to a live situation. But I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I had live and Zoom parties.
Yeah.
It's like a house party in Zoom, and different rooms. People were playing, flirting. There were speeches, discussions, and a dance floor, and I could play on a dance floor from my studio with a green screen in front of something. And I felt like a little boy, but I felt good.
Cool.
And now this is the second thing I experienced during this whole Corona stuff, that streaming could be an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Like a second thing, like if it's not live in front of people, I could do it live on the internet, because it's really important for me to do it live. So I want to do it in a moment. I want to jam. That's myself. I'm trained. All of my practicing is to jam.
Damn. No, you're also, I've seen your work, and it seems you're much more improv type person. And totally. A lot of what you do has been improv. At least I know it of like Fat T. I don't know how much of a structure you guys have when you do a performance. It sort of seems like there's a lot of like on the whim thinking and switch ups.
Yeah. The trick was we met the day before and we had a really long jam session.
Okay.
During this jam session, we experienced like, these chords are good for tomorrow, or let's hang on this idea.
Yeah.
And so we were not like totally lost, but we only had like ideas in which direction we would go. And every time on a gig, it's different, of course.
Okay.
We call ourselves a jam band, and we want that people are coming to stage. Like, if they want in the moment, if there is a guitar player or a synthesizer player in the crowd, and he feels like, okay, I can give something to the jam now, he should come to the stage and ask.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's cool. I know you guys is also, if you've had like people just show up at your gigs and also like jump in.
Yeah. If I see a friend before the gig, I always ask.
That's fucking cool. That's cool. Yeah, there was one time I think you guys also played at the Road 2 for the Begeister House in this little blow up bubble thing.
Yeah, I was not there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but I saw the gig online.
Yeah.
And it looked really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turned actually into sort of like half the audience was just in the band also jamming out.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Also, it's like, I believe that music is for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, it is the place that connects us. So if you want to get better, you should play with professionals. And professionals, often they are like, yeah, I will tell you, because they know how it is, and they went through 10 years of practicing, or this whole stuff, this thinking, am I an artist or no, whatever, what is my show, what I'm doing here, and they know it. Come on. And yeah, everybody should try. And if you want to like show people something, or show yourself to people, or like only talk to people on stage, like jamming is the only thing you want, do it. Like getting better, ask better people, and stop doing this professional stuff. Like, our band is too good for you, or stuff like that. We are always like getting better if we are doing, and we are doing it with better people. So we learn, and we show it to people who need it. So a big learn effect is if you show somebody how to DJ. If I find somebody who say, oh, I want to DJ, but I cannot do it, I always show him, because I know during showing him I get inspiration. So I reflect everything I've done, or I showed my best friends how to play instruments. One guy I told how to play drums, the other I started how to play bass. Now he got a external teacher. And the third one, I showed how to play guitar. And now we are meeting three of my best friends and me, and we are playing in a band.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's the biggest learn effect was on my side. Like, they are always like, oh yeah, thanks, you are doing it. And I'm always like, thanks, you are coming. I learn from you.
No, but what are the things that you're sort of like learning from them while doing it?
You are reflecting. You have to verbalize your ideas. You have to sort your ideas. You have to like, explain it that a child can understand it. So if I say, the harmonics are not good, you should play E minor, it doesn't work. But if I can tell him in a language that in the end he will play like duh, 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 duh. That's all I wanted. I don't use any musical expression, but he knows how to play this. Now that's the point we can start. But I really learned how I use words, or how much I should say to them, how much I should lead them into an idea, and where I have to stop leading and give the freedom to them, so they can experience a solo or a soloing or other stuff. And you always, that's the second thing, you always get back. So I talk to them, and the second they start playing, I know, okay, that was a good lesson, or nah, I failed. So, and these are your best friends, so they will never get mad. That was a really good experience for me.
Okay, wow. But have you had any friends that like struggle actually learning from you?
Different people use different language. The drummer guy, for example, he's really rational, and he's listening to a lot of metal, or metal music and dark death metal, black metal. But the drummers there are always really fast.
Yeah.
And the other thing he's listening to is Tool and this polyrhythmic people.
Yeah.
And he's really into this stuff. And sometimes I say something to him and it's like, bang, it's there. And often we discuss. And if I start discussing about what he should do, that's not good.
Okay.
Because I want to explain it and he should do whatever he wants. In the best case, it's good, or it's that what I wanted. But if we discuss, no, the bass drum should be on the 2 and this on the there is no groove at all.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I feel like people are more connected to me in this vibe thing.
Yeah.
And others are not. But that's totally okay. I know how to teach. That's for sure. But I also experienced in my time as I did a practicum. I don't know the word.
Internship.
Internship in a school, and I experienced also there. Yeah. There were people they laughed me after 2 hours. And
you want some more wine?
Yeah, cool. And some of my students, even in the last day, we were not connected, and that's okay. And also my experience is it's like that. I always learned from chaotic people. Okay. And if people are really straight and like, okay, this is the step, then you should do this step and this and this. And after this 5 points, you are a better e-guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, push it away. I want to experience it on a really different way.
Okay.
I'm chaotic and I had really chaotic teachers without any musical note stuff, or he was like, this riff is fucking good and we train this riff till we can play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is how I learn.
Okay, cool. Respect to that. I personally struggle when a friend tries to teach me anything. I absolutely refuse, if I know this person personally, refuse to learn from them because one, I'm quite competitive with like the people close to me, and if somebody's teaching me, I'm just gonna get frustrated at the fact that they're better than me.
Of course.
And I just immediately want to be better than them. It's and then as well as I'm also like there's like this stubbornness and being too shy of like trying to fully express myself. So I'm always down to my way of doing it is like maybe I'll learn something from a friend and then like I'll disappear and just teach myself on YouTube for 6 months and then I'll come back and they'll just be shocked, and that's sort of like the way I do it.
I know these feelings. I know it. And it's also for me like this. I'm not on a position that I can say I'm there. This is my place. I'm now a teacher for these guys, and I got good connection to this guy. No, it's a journey. And yesterday, before I was actually in bed, I thought about today, and I struggled, and I was like, "Am I good enough, or should I continue DJing?" This question were in my head, like. Somehow it's super normal that you think about this because the external pressure is sometimes big. You see these stars with their perfect voices and the perfect whatever, but music and stars is not, it's somehow connected, but it's not the same. There are people of interest in our society, and no matter if they play football or doing music, but it's not your personal interest in music.
Yeah.
It's different. And if you are motivated, I think, you can always learn. That's how, I transformed a little bit. I think in this thing, I really don't want to learn from others in the beginning, because I thought creativity and production is about that I create something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's stupid. It's everything is inside. You have to connect it different in a creative way, but you have to learn it before you play it. So
it's very true. You just need to know the rules of the material world to be able to just sort of like lay it out in the physical form, because art is really just your ideal inner self that you're trying to like put into the world. But if you don't know how to move a paintbrush on a canvas or understand just like the basic principles of how a keyboard works,
yeah,
then
of course,
you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time. Though I will say, I know some people who don't know a single lick of music theory, but they just can produce music. They can actually produce music on a keyboard without even knowing any theory, and sometimes they'll even like accidentally go into more complex theory of for example, putting a few flats in there in a key that normally doesn't have this many flats into it,
yeah,
and then it ends up being like, okay, they're sliding more into like a blues thing, but they like created a hybrid out of it themselves. And I've seen like MIDI tracks where like somebody will send it to me. I'll be like, hey, can you send it to me, because I want to see if I can tweak it and add something to it. And I did. There was no rules to it. It was like very broken. So some people can do that, but I think it's also important to understand sort of like the rules, because yeah, and like the true masters, they like know everything about it, and then they just really pretty much say like, fuck the rules.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
Because if you are not like doing it different, it's not that interesting.
Very true.
Yeah. And but for me, this whole music production and creative, that's all like a platform, and everybody on this platform has other ideas.
Yeah.
Something different he want to experience with this. Some people want to stand in front of a big crowd because they want to be seen. Yeah. And I also know this feeling, but it's not like, maybe it's because I'm getting older a little bit, but it's not the main thing in music that I searching. That a lot of people, to be honest, sometimes I'm really I really want to be alone. So, and other people are really into the rabbit hole. They are into frequency and physics stuff and electricity, and they do some synthesizer. They build their own modular synthesizers for years, and nobody can play it. And also the sound you can like, no, it's a special sound, but it's a scene. So 200 people maximum on a live stream. So, but I think they are genius. Like what I understand what they are doing. Some, not everything, but the surface, and even this is so genius. Like everybody is connecting his VCR and stuff and cutoffs different and use it in a different way. And other people come from classic music, and all they think about is harmonics. So we have the modular synthesizers, they talk about frequency, the others about harmonic, the others about pop stars, the other about jazz. You can do whatever you want. It's a whole world. So, but in the end, it's more, my lesson was more finding, where do I want to go on this map? Which direction I want to go, and where do I want to stop or experience something. And sometimes it feels like the whole DJ and electronic stuff was a lesson, and in the end I use it now for my live sets. But I'm an electric guitar player, so today I feel like electric guitar player, I go to my electric guitar and I don't touch single electronic stuff, so it's different. So but in the end, don't hate, create, do your stuff, and and find yourself. That's with it.
Very important.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of people actually really like to hate, but I feel like they're really hating because deep down inside they don't have the courage to go do it themselves. Or try to figure it out themselves.
And I can tell you, it's hard.
The jealousy that like sometimes comes out, or just sometimes it's straight up hate. So some people just be really mean about somebody, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, and can you actually do that?
Yeah. and do you understand what he did? That's always like, people come to a band and go, what the fuck are they doing? And I'm like, what? You don't understand. If you would listen to like polyrhythmic music, you would understand how genius they are. But you want 4 to the floor and an open hi-hat. Wrong party. I'm sorry.
What do you think about the type of people who actually just show up to the wrong parties because they actually just want to be seen, and then they're there and they're actually like complaining about the music, and no, like this is actually just a type of person I hate.
That's it.
I fucking hate these type of people who show up to events and they're really there just because it's an event or it was like properly promoted, and then they go there and then they have the audacity to complain about the sound. Yeah, and that's sometimes very frustrating.
And that's funny, of course. That's a little bit racist because type of people. But I had this vibe. If you said the people who come to parties to be seen and talk shit about a party, I know these people, and I could tell you 5 of it. Like
we all know them.
Yeah, and of course, then you are on the wrong party. And I also went to the wrong parties and were like, okay, I don't need to listen to the song again, or I really don't want this DJ. So that's okay. Sometimes it's like this. But yeah, music, I want to experience some great stuff with music. So I look for good music and good parties and good people and good locations. If there is a location they fuck me up, I will not go there anymore. And also I will not play there anymore. That's important that it's your journey and it's about you. Where do you want to end? Where do you want to go? And don't do the shit other people do.
And a lot of people actually pick up this music stuff because they want to be like the other people. And that's also something where I'm like, I get frustrated with when people don't want are them authentic selves, and they don't even try to experiment. They're rather just copy and pasting sort of like what other people are doing. And that then becomes a difficult discussion because it's sort of like, what is the line of inspiration and what is just sort of this copy and paste?
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. I find it also interesting. There's like there's people out there in the world who actually just want to make pop music.
Yeah.
And I always find that just it's a little bit interesting. But like there are some people where it's like they want to make pop music and they really respect pop and they like know their history of pop. And then I'm like, oh, you're just a pop head. Like, good for you. But then there's a lot of people who just want to do pop because that's what they listen to and that's what sort of their idols are. And then they sort of become this sort of like a bourgeoisie of anything outside of pop is trash. Without even respecting the fact that like maybe that hi-hat sound that they have came from the 909.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, coming back to this talk, that I saw a lot of inspiration in the club, like of the music I listened on like everywhere, and of course it's like this. What should I say? But for these people, that's their reality. They want it and they achieve it, and that's good for them. So why not?
But it also could be maybe why some people like pop stars go into sort of like depressions or get addicted to drugs is because they wanted to be this and then they're finally that, and now they're in the position of where they're sort of like, okay, this is actually what I wanted, but it's not really feeling intrinsically fulfilling me.
Yes, and I think that's a lesson of life. We all had our dreams when we were young, and we followed them somehow, and sometimes we were a little bit more realistic about it, and sometimes we were really childish about it, and no, I want to do it that way, and I want to be a musician and whatever. But what was the question?
There's really no question. It was just more or less me complaining about some people who want to do pop and they do want to do pop just because they want to be known. And this whole depression stuff.
And I want to talk about UFO 361.
Okay.
He's a German rapper.
UFO
361.
Yeah.
So he did something. He wanted to be rich. He was a guy from Berlin, and he sold drugs, and he was a young rapper, and he always talked about being rich.
Is he this really buff guy?
I don't know. He's more like really. He's wearing really stylish clothes and really expensive clothes and
of course
handbags and trap music.
Okay.
So, but somehow sometimes this pop artist catches me. Why I don't know, but it's like this. So I listen to UFO, whatever. I know this is. He knows maybe 50 words in his raps, and he's not doing the best lines or stuff, but he's presenting it really good. He's a business guy, and he got rich.
Marketing.
Yeah, he got rich, and he got all of his clothes, all of his chain, all of his money, his villa, and his band, and now he's singing about that this is not satisfying. So it's a
transformation.
No, it's like your reality in your head. Mm-hmm. I want to be a star. I want to be this or that. That's your reality you're chasing. Some people will get really close or even fulfill their dreams. But the next question is this what I wanted? Is this now the end? Is there an end of tasks? Is there a limit of what I want? And if you have everything of money and all the girls you want, is this the end of your history or what? If you achieve this, what is after it?
Yeah.
And there is this Clubs 27. A lot of artists struggle at around 30 years. Yeah. And to be honest, I also switched my thoughts around this time. More realistic, more dream, that's good, but work that fulfills your dreams, and you are not John Frusciante. That's what I talk to me.
Well, I also think you can actually be whoever you want to be. You just also have to respect the ideas of time and energy and the amount of effort that you put in. There's a lot of people who will try going at producing a song, and they'll be upset if they've only been producing music for 3 months that their sound isn't what they ideally want, and then they sort of give up. Whereas you have people out there, like, I don't know, one DJ who I really admire her story of is Black Madonna. Great name, by the way. And she was a Chicago house DJ who probably for 17 years was just constantly taking whatever gig she could get. And then now she's at the point where she's traveling the world. She's able to get all the appearances, but it took her 17 years. Yeah, and then there's people out there who give up after 3 months.
Yeah, of course. That's the game.
Yeah.
And I start to think realistic. Like, if you want to achieve something, you need 10 years. That's what I'm talk to any artist. I mean, of course, you can be famous after 2 years, but ask Tokyo Hotel.
Tokyo Hotel.
This German band, they went crazy when they were 40 or stuff, like 14 to 18 or stuff like that. 1 million at one gig, but now they will always play for little girls under 14. Yeah. So is this what they wanted their whole life, or is this what they wanted at this specific time?
Yeah.
And they have a great life, of course. And I think of course, I would like to have the standing of some artists like this, because they have a lot of opportunities now. But I ask myself, what do I want to do with my music and my, don't call it talent, but with my rehearsings, my year of rehearsings, and how should this continue? And in the best case, for the rest of my life. And then all of a sudden, it's really interesting to teach people and not be the superstar on the stage. So all these things I experienced the last 2 years, they were not on stage. They were in the studio, building a studio, rehearsing every day, training my friends, playing with them, jamming around, like testing any kind, like what I am, who I am, what do I want to do, and in the end, it should really feel good for me. Like I want to express myself and feel good and not be on a wedding. Yeah. I want to be with people who understand me.
Yeah.
Even if it's one person in front of me, that's enough. I want to connect. Yeah, and of course I want to be successful, because I think that's yeah, if you believe in something and work for it, you need something to get back, to come back.
Well, it's also, you're putting all that energy into it, and you're sort of just hoping that it down the road comes back. Yeah, of
course, and it's coming back. I experience it right now. Like people writing me, "Hey, I really like you as a person, and without your lesson, I would be not there today." And I'm like, this is what I wanted. There is a person. This person believes now in music and want to do music all day. It's more like a spiritual thing. I could teach him something or her, and that's great. That makes a really good feeling. Also for the knowing it's going on. Like people are coming to music, doing it, being creative. That's all.
It's actually very beautiful, because that's sort of, I think, what a lot of people are missing in their own life, like outside of just music, is the realization of you can actually have a big impact on the world in the way, for example, you're changing already one person's sort of like trajectory in their life, will lead them to a new life, which will then probably change the trajectory of other people's lives. And it's sort of like
totally.
One thing that I sort of always go to is the idea of like, in our lifetime, we'll probably really build relationships with about 1,000 people, both strong and moderate. But if you're able to sort of like influence those 1,000 people, those 1,000 people will also have a connection to 1,000 people. So then you're all of a sudden touching 1 million people just through other people.
You're right,
and that's sort of like where it just sort of becomes amazing, and it can be humbling. But of course, we all just want to, of course, be in front of a crowd much larger than.
Of course, for an artist, that's If I would do it for money, I would be I am a really bad person. I'm a really bad a business guy.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times where I was broke or had no idea how to continue this project.
Yeah.
But that's not like my fire, or not like the boost behind all of this. But to see the influence and to connect with people, and as you said, that's sometimes stories coming years after. And they talk about like, oh, that was so amazing. And we're like, yeah, it was a good gig. And I know I had stress with my girlfriend or stuff like that. And I went home. It was a bad day. And somebody in front of the crowd seeing you again, you are the guitarist of Fatty. And I was, and why are you knowing Fatty? That's cool. Yeah. And to be honest, I need it. That's you doing right. That's like people are connected, are respecting what am I doing, what I'm doing. But also, I said this, if I'm playing and there's one person in front of me and I see the connection, that's all. That's it. I mean, I do it every time by my own, but the special thing is if there is a person who feels it, who connects to it, or to have a win or thought or something out of it. Or even if it's only a channel for a bad vibe or something he experienced or she experienced in the past. And for me, often music was the channel to put out the trash. Like all of my shitty, really aggressive thoughts, you can scream it with a band and be mad, and you can kill people with words. And then the concert is over and you're looking to your friend and you really hammer, this was good. That's it. The channel for all the bullshit.
No, it's just a way of letting out.
And also the other side around. I mean, you can be really romantic or have higher feelings or being blessed or being like really satisfied out of a tune.
Yeah. It's just a way of conveying thoughts and emotions in a whole different way, and instead of our normal language. That's really sort of like what art is going outside of just our words and what we feel inside, but trying to also communicate. And there's also something amazing when somebody else can feel it. Before the whole podcast started, you talked about my set at Kaya, the first song. And like it made me really happy knowing that, like, hey, somebody else felt that song the same way I felt it.
And it's funny because we talk about pop music, great production, this really into thing, and this song is only vibe. It's for me somehow a lot of pop tune. The samples are really radio, but I press play and there was a feeling, and I stand up and I swear, wow, this song. And I have to learn to let it go. This is not techno, this is not good produced, whatever. This fucking song catched me for 5 minutes, and the next day I listened to it. It was again and again and again. And so why should I lie to myself and say, no, I'm professional and I'm doing it better and whatever? If I listen to a song and it catches me, it catches me. That's it. And you should talk about it as you said it. And this is the connection.
And it goes down also to the song Happy of from Pharrell Williams. It was probably like the reason why I was also internationally so easily taken. It was a song where its chorus was I'm happy. Because I'm happy. That's so internationally known, and it's one of like the most common emotions as well. So a lot of people were able to understand that. So even though like I probably dissed a little bit of pop music in this conversation, I also applaud it, because really good pop music can take an emotion that like we all experience, like a much more shared emotion. In comparison to something like techno. Quite often, like I couldn't show techno to my mother and she wouldn't understand the emotions behind it, but a song like Happy would be much more easily received because of not only just because of its basic structure, but also because of the simplistic lyrics and the simplistic meaning behind it. And also, like a lot of people, I think the most people are not music heads. They are they listen to it on radio or Spotify nowadays. Like it's passive. Like they are doing stuff and that's a good vibe. I do it, and the playlist shows me everything I want. And this is the most the big consumption of music is like this. So, but if we talk about pop and all this, how it works and how it connects the big masses, the whole the same feeling is in the underground. Or in a thing you did or somebody did. Like when we are rehearsing with Fatty, I always do a stereo recording of it so we can reflect. And one time there was like the saxophone player, it was only a chilled vibe, bass, flooding chords, and he started to soloing for 2 minutes, and he was talking to me. Like I heard the first sound, I was like, wow, Peter is talking to me. And I said, I know, and every single fucking thing he did was inside of me. I was like, Peter, I want you to be my every time saxophone player now. Like this, like I need you. So, and it's the same feeling to a professional or a pop track or a song you heard 1,000 times, or this one guy who plays your vibe. It's no difference. And pop is one thing, but there are 1,000 unending other things. So find your place. And also I have to say that pop music is of course not my favorite music. I appreciate it sometimes and I hate it a lot of times, but I want to call the names of my favorite artists, or who was inspiring me. Who are they?
In the beginning, the first guy who really hits me was John Frusciante.
Okay.
I don't know really if I call him right, like Frusciante, if it's right. I always call him John Frusciante. And the first album who really catch me was Red Hot Chili Pepper Californication.
Okay, yeah.
And this A minor riff.
Yeah.
He played an A minor and then he played an F, I think major. Yeah, it's major. And it was only not from above. It was one little different. And I listened to it and it was like, what? I know this chord. I listened to this chord forever. It's A minor. Yeah. It's the most common chord. But he played it only one little thing different and now it changed everything. Yeah. The whole world loves Red Hot Chili Pepper and this fucking guitar player. And I was like, good. For me personal, it's about the easy idea, but this easy idea should be great, like should be overwhelming. Yeah. You don't have to be the jazz, piano, guitar player, but you need to play your A minor right. This is how I started doing music. Okay. And then I experienced, okay, John Frusciante actually is a jazz player who understood how to do pop, but actually his quality is much higher. Yeah. So, and it was funny about all John Frusciante. He started to cover the Red Hot Chili Pepper songs because he liked the band as fuck. He was like, "This is so great music," and he started to train all his songs. Yeah. And then the band was like, hey, we need a new guitar player. And he was like, hey, I know all of your songs and I'm your biggest fan. And he was invited. And after he got best friends with Flea and stuff like that. It's so funny. Like, you are seeing your favorite band. You are so into it. You are training to play their songs. And in the end, the biggest success is because of you in the band. Because you were able to shine. To produce, to be creative, to invest yourself into the band. This was my first big and till today biggest motivation for guitar playing. Yeah, and then today in the electronic culture, it's for sure Murkoff. Okay. I think Argentina, but he is on another level. For me, it's always so inspiring what he's doing, and he's playing with a laptop and a mouse, and he is in the background. Yeah. He's not even on a stage and performing. He's on the side of a stage and no lights and stuff like that. But Murkoff, start listening to Murkoff and
I gotta listen to him.
It's deep and it's electronic, and for me he's really old and he is doing this for years, like for I don't know how long, to be honest. But Murkoff, this is my sound experience. Whatever. Yeah, these two people I really have to call because I stick to them. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Those are two also like extreme examples, like they're pretty other sides of the spectrum.
I mean, my urge, or I was born where I was born. I did Christian music. Yeah, that's what I started. Worship music. Yeah.
Did you do like blues style, like gospel, like what we got in America, or was it just straight up classic church music here in Germany, Protestant church music?
Not. Yeah, both of it is wrong. Like, I was into gospel music because when I was young, I really liked music, and fuck gospel music and drum breaks. You should listen to them. Okay. The drummers, what they doing in drum break, if there's a gospel break, this is it. This is great music. This is like high-end music. High-end Christian music is gospel music. So that's what it is. Yeah. But it was not that common in my church. In my church, it was worship music, and it's like a pop rock clash of more like putting Christian message into already given music in radio. Yeah. But I'm honest, I learned how to do music with it. Yeah. And what I really believe in is the vibe, like that you catch like the vibe in German, it's Stimmung, like of the room. You have to catch, or you have to bring people to this music experience. And 10 in the morning, Sunday, people are not awake. You are standing with an electric guitar in front of them, and you want to catch them. So you are like 60 years old. I had no idea, but I getting better and better. And some days it was like you are accepted, and then you started playing with the crowd. I could play like 1 hour, and in the end everybody was like really emotional and praying to God and really close to him and like the whole hype, this hype vibe, like this. I experienced it in church where people were freaking out to music, where people like lost their self in music. It was God in the end for them. They were thinking about this God relationship and stuff.
But wasn't it the music that was actually playing the...
And that was my job.
Yeah.
And I thought about, it's not what you think about. I know the knobs I have to press that you start praying.
Yeah.
And
it sounds very like almost like you became God. I knew the knobs exactly to get them to pray. I'm joking here.
I would not say that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this whole God thing is different in my head. But in the end, we are our gods, I think. So yeah you're right. No, what's more, I wanted to look behind the curtain. Yeah. I want to understand how it's functional, that there is one musician and 1 million people, and the 1 million people listen to him and start connecting with him. What the fuck? Yeah. Like, that's mighty. And we had a joke in church. It was like, if you press this major chord at 30 seconds, the Holy Spirit is about to come.
It sounds about right, but it's also like, maybe I'm just sort of now going to start thinking out loud, but it's sort of like the music that goes on in the church, I think is a much different sort of vibe, in the sense of these people are going to church to try to connect to God. And at least in my belief system, there is sort of this like ultimate being, but it's not really, not a big fan of Christianity and how they use the Bible and everything to manipulate people, but that's my own opinion. But I believe there is some force in the universe, and the force comes through sort of the abstract, because it's something we can't grasp. And quite often what you get in churches, you get people who are actually very not abstract. That were usually very, and that's sort of like the stereotype of churchgoers, is they're very clean cuts people, and they like the rules and they want to follow in the rules. They want the framework, and they sort of need somebody to guide them on the framework. So that's why they look towards religion. But then now they're in this environment, and they're like mentally in the state of like, I'm here to now worship God, but then all of a sudden here comes a godly sound. These tones that are just really air vibrating at different frequencies, and manipulating the material world right before their ears and eyes, and they're not just sitting in their car going on their way to work. So they're there with the intention of getting close to God. So all of a sudden they're much more open to receiving this music. Yeah. It's very similar. I see sort of the parallels in sort of like how a lot of agnostic or atheistic people go into techno. They're going for a place of worship in their own way. They're going there for these manipulations of the wavelengths of the particles around them, to give them this feeling and bring something out of them that they otherwise can't experience in their everyday life. Yeah. So sort of like that's what I'm just sort of seeing as maybe sort of like the underground techno and all that stuff, or just generally music lovers are connecting to God through music, whereas the churchgoers are going to meet with God, but the music there is sort of like a drug, which is like opening up themselves to feel those emotions, to get themselves closer to it.
Yeah, I think you're really close to my opinion. Cool. Yeah, because if you're talking about this, I remember, for example, one of my first Berlin stories. I was in Suicide Circus. No, it was not Suicide Circus. It was or Mix, MIKZ, Mix, yeah.
Okay.
Mix Club. And I was standing next to my sister. She is 2 years older. And yeah, she went, she was living in Berlin for a few months, and she experienced the scene and stuff. And I went with her to techno parties because I really liked it. And I remember I was standing on it was my first Function One experience. Wow. Nice. I remember I was standing like 2 meters in front of her and hey, I go out for a smoke, and she was like, yeah, go, see you soon. And we are standing 2 meters like distance, and I was listening to any word you said like it's in my ear. But I also remember that the ground was shaking because the bass was so loud. Mm-hmm. So it was maximum sound. And I understood her, like we were talking on the streets. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I have no idea about sound system. What I experience here is a whole different level. I have to go out now. It was great. Yeah. And then I wrote something on the phone, and it was like, God is a DJ and the club is the church. Yeah. And this was the feeling during my techno time. I came from church, and I really searched for behind the curtain to see the universe, to see God, to have this outer space experience, to feel like everything in one and stuff like that. I really wanted to do it, and I never got it from the Christianity. So techno and a few pills gave it to me. So I really compared this to each other. Yeah. And I'm with you. The drug of the church was the music. Yeah. I was in the first row of a worship concert in Stuttgart. It was Hillsong United in Hans-Martin Schleyer Halle. And I remember it was so good. I was there standing half an hour crying. I felt so much things at the same time. It was like 10,000 people were singing these songs I could play, and I could scream out of myself. I was standing in front of people, watching through a television, and God was speaking to me like this, the feeling. Yeah, and then in front of the bass drum, after 3 hours, you start, what the fuck? Yeah. What is this? I know myself, and I love myself, and I love everybody else, and we are one. And the whole experience came back in a much bigger way. But yeah, I learned these are different things, church and techno club. You have to separate them. But I get that people want this hype thing and this overmuch thing, this outpour of emotions. Yeah. Some people really need it and really like it and really experience themselves through doing this stuff. And so this is only my how I will explain how I went through the story. Yeah. And everybody's different.
Yeah, that's very true. I think what we also need to sort of like see is like sort of underground techno music should not really look so down upon worship music or just the idea of going to church, and church should not look down upon sort of the people who rather spend their Sunday mornings in a club with subwoofers after being awake for 12 hours and a couple of pills. Because I don't know, there's some very interesting things sort of that's like that I sort of learned about the Christian religion in the past few years, and sort of like it could very well have been the Bible points to a lot of like psychedelic experiences, sort of like going and seeing a burning bush that's talking to you. That sounds like if I was on mushrooms walking through the woods.
Of course, and it's going further. Like I'm coming from the Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
Pentecost, it's Pfingsten in German.
Okay.
It's the outpour of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And the Pentecostal church, they are the goal for, like, I experience it like that. Of course, any church is different. They have their own rules, their own believings. But the Pentecostal thing was about experience, the Holy Spirit. They believed that God was creating, Jesus was there for saving, and the Holy Spirit is now the presence of God on this earth. So you can experience God through the Holy Spirit. That's their idea. And how they experience, how the experience look like they talking different languages, like not even earth language, some childish language, or not childish, more given language, they say. Whatever. And this was really curious for me in the beginning, I'm honest.
I'm actually sort of convinced now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I stopped doing church. Also, if you say you are convinced now,
a little,
yeah.
No, I still have my own values and my own opinions.
That's
and
good.
My belief system.
And that's how you should deal with church, techno, and the other things. Your own value system. That's really important, because what I experienced as a child, I listen, and I like the pastors, and I wanted to be a star, of course, but I want to be a worship leader, not a star of the world. I wanted to serve God and bring people to God, and like this. And what took place in our church was like that a lot of opinion were repeated and getting bigger and bigger, and the opinion were like more that many people had the same opinion at the same time.
Yeah.
And this was a time where I was like, okay, I see nothing you talk about, but you are getting more and more radical. And I'm on an age I want to experience life right now and goodbye. And this was hard for me, but I really had to do it. But until today, I'm not into that people have the same opinion in a group of party, in a group of church, in a group of politicians. Everybody is thinking a little bit different. That's how we are. And we should like talk to each other because of it. Like all of the opinions together is the big opinion.
Yeah.
And we are different. We should not say, yeah, that's cool because everybody's saying that's cool. I know that our brain works like this, but this is what scared the fuck out of me in the church. Like that people saying shitty stuff and believe in it. And I was like, okay, I'm 18 and you are 50 and I think I know it better because I read better newspapers than you.
Yeah.
And yeah, this I really started to reflect and had to do a cut, but in the end also to understand what's happening and to understand what have I like learned out of it and what don't I want to continue now.
Yeah.
Huh.
But you're still, I think through your music, but this is my personal opinion, you're still doing sort of what you've always been doing of bringing people closer to God.
When I was
in the way of music.
Yeah, of course. When I was a child, I said the only way we save the world is that you are talking to your friends, bring them to like the truth, and the truth is God. And now I say, I don't know, truth is in the middle, but if you do music, your life gets better. I promise you.
Yeah. And
of course, somehow music is now the new God, and I really want that everybody's doing music.
Yeah.
That's inside of me. I cannot like change this attitude that if I am like really or I really believe that it's good for you.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
I cannot do it for a political issue, not right now. I cannot do it in a spiritual way, like believe in this or that, but I can do it on a musical way. Yeah. And I can show people how to express themselves. And yeah, I'm a teacher and I want to share and I want to save the world. Of course, I want to be Jesus, but I don't call it like this because, Also, this Jesus thing is only one. There are so many names and so many ideas about. You said it really, really good. It's your opinion, and that's good because it's an opinion and not a truth. It's your way to live, and you can have strength out of it, and it pushes you and not everybody else. So, that's important.
But going down to the idea of like truth. Is there really like a universal truth? Or because when I say opinion, I'm actually really saying the truth, in the sense that everybody has their own subjective truth until proven otherwise.
Yeah, right.
And there's really very few things out there that it's like a universal truth. And even like things like the idea of gravity and like what comes up must come down, that's only very subjective to this planet. Who knows what's going on anywhere else? We haven't encountered aliens or anything coming here. who would break those universal truths.
Actually, I watched Ancient Aliens during Corona, and this guy, aliens. I liked him.
Now you understand the meme.
Yeah, of course. I never got it. Yeah, but you're a truth. It's hard. I think truth is on the one hand something who is discussed by philosophy
Or philosophers.
Yeah. And but there's of course some kind of truth inside of us. Like everybody's believing in something, or at least he has like thought about it and said, okay, this is my way to handle it.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm honest, I cannot. That's super personal in the end.
Yeah.
I also have my believings, but I always want to connect them with physical stuff. I want to explain them in physics, for example, so that I understand how we listen, that there are waves coming through our ear. And so I understand, okay, harmonics could change something in our mind.
Yeah.
Or as I saw a documentation about whatever, I don't know the word in English. It's about a neuronales Netzwerk.
Okay, the neural network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, your brain can change out of itself. So if you think about something a lot of time and you are focusing on it, you can change an organ. Yeah. And that's fucking next level. And then I thought, okay, maybe there is something like this revelation thing, or this I believe now in something different and 100% different person now.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And I was like, no, we are human beings. We are like we are. And like, no, God is bullshit. It was 10 years ago. And then like on the other side, on really like...
but look at you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's more the world I'm now into. Yeah. Like, I want to understand. I want to like understand with my mind. But also I know there's intuition in the world. Yeah. And why do we like each other? We had a coffee, I know, in the beginning. Yeah. When we connected in Rohrbach. Yeah. And after this talk, I was like, I like him. He is like we can talk spiritually without like pushing each other. Yeah. You are giving me inspiration, but never say this is right or wrong or you should do it.
That's because who the fuck am I to tell you what's right or wrong?
Of course, but respect. Yeah. You know. But what is it? I cannot like do a math and say, okay, Philip, maybe the name, maybe the age, maybe this or that. It was like, yeah, I had a good time. Yeah. And my brain told me it was a good time. And if he asks you again, yeah, you will have a good time.
Well, what could also happen is that we self-develop in different directions, and then one day it's not a good time, and then all of a sudden,
of course,
we're just like, fuck this,
yeah,
fuck this relationship.
Honestly, yeah, you have to be honest. But for me, what I have to say to truth, yeah, that's not the answer, but how I deal with it right now is truth is in the middle. This is what politicians told me. I really like the opposition, like the against part of
the devil's advocate, just always being against it.
Yeah. I like them, but I also, I'm honest. I really thankful that we have some people who handle with the problems nowadays.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like, of course, not everything is perfect, and they're doing it like every decision is right, and of course they're playing for their own team. But I'm not in the position that I can say I would handle this easily. Yeah. So, yeah.
But it's funny. There's so many people out there in the world who will think they can handle those things easily.
Yeah, that's German. I mean, if there
I don't think it's German. I think it's humans generally.
Yeah, maybe humans. But in Germany, there's another thing. If there is a world championship, 18 million people are like the Bundestrainer, like the trainer of the team. Everybody know it's better, and he should do it. Whatever. Yeah, but that's fun.
Yeah. I just saw a cop drive by, so I was just checking out, seeing what's going on with the cop.
yeah, I saw them 3 times actually.
All right, but I really think we're doing complete harmless things. But with Corona times, cops are just getting their nose into a lot of things, but also they're also trying to like avoid getting into things because the rules are always changing. But yeah, thanks for your compliments and your last 10-minute dialogue. I find it very interesting that you're sort of looking at sort of like how the brain works in sort of like the material world. I find it pretty relevant and funny that you speak of this now, because I'm also reading a book right now. It's called The Master of Keys, and it really speaks about sort of the subconscious and conscious mind, and sort of how you can reprogram your subconscious mind through training, exercise, and repetition, sort of like beating to death your subconsciousness, saying like, because maybe something happened in your entire existence and you see it all the time with artists, where artists believe they can't do anything, or they can't achieve anything, or they can't get money with their art, so they really believe it. So then all of a sudden they become a poor artist, or they become an artist that can't produce art. And I think that lies at the subconscious part of their brain, and I think that you can really go at it, and science has now proven, and it hasn't proven, but it's really pointing at the direction of being able to easily reprogram yourself. And maybe not easy, it takes work.
It will not feel good. Like if you have a habit and you want to change it, it will fuck you up there for 3 days.
It's like, it may fuck you up for 3 years.
Yeah, your brain is like doing, no, I want to go this way, but you are knowing, I want to go this way, and then, if I do a war against myself, no, that's not good. I chill today. I will do it like all the time.
So it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, of course, but it's hard. It's not the easy way to do it. So, but it's possible. That's the truth. And I like it. And also, I want to shout out something to the Corona times right now.
Shout out Corona.
Yeah, shout out to Corona. No, it's about the next few months. I really believe that we are going to be better now. Like the last 2 months were really hard. It was winter. We were disconnected from parties and our friends and all of this. And now we are getting better. But I will tell you, if we are starting now, like doing parties, illegal parties, like doing a lot of people in one place, this will not be the solution. Mm-hmm. Also, if we are doing better, and this time will come. But we also have to respect nature, and that is taking time, that's going away. And not like, or I'm feeling it now better and I'm really lost because I want to meet friends. Fuck it, I go to any party now. That will push us to a place we were in the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Like it's coming again and again. Like you can read whatever you want, inform yourself, being critic on stuff, of course. But in the end, it's your behavior, what you're doing out of it, and respect nature and respect that there's something going on. And I want to party with everybody of Heidelberg, everybody now, because I'm so horny to party. Fuck. But this is not the way. The next few weeks are really important that we are, find ourselves, connect to each other, maybe on the internet, plan stuff for the next year, whatever, but not being silly again.
Yeah.
That's a shout out to the scene. I love you all, but stand still. We are on pause right now, everybody of us.
Yeah.
And it's together.
It's also maybe a much needed pause. And that's sort of like what I sort of see Corona as is since I don't know, I'm only 26, but like it feels like the last 30 years of humans' existence has been really picking up tempo, going faster and faster, and this is like nature's way of like saying, or some may even say God's way of saying, like, chill the fuck out. You guys think you're so great, we could destroy you. Here's a little warning sign. If you guys go back into your old ways, we'll turn up the disease and we'll make it much more likely to kill all you fucks.
Like the dices of the universe will, like, well,
if we want to say that, like dice, and like sort of just looking at it sort of like at a probability thing, the probability of humans getting really bigly affected, massively affected, where we have like a major population change through death, is actually much higher than we may imagine. Like, think about the bubonic plague that took out 1/3 of the population. That was only 500, 600 years ago. And now today it's we had this corona thing, and at the beginning it was like, oh shit, what is this? I even freaked out. I went and bought 200 euros worth of groceries, canned foods and everything. By the way, saved my money because then I wasn't able to make much money. So saved me money in meals. But at the beginning it was sort of just like, what the fuck's happening? Is this going to kill 1/10 of the population if you had something like that? But it ended up being like only killing 6 out of 100,000 people, which the odds are it's like, all right, cool. But now what have we learned out of it from the society, and like what are the things that we need to do? And it really showed the first summer of this, it really showed sort of like who's there for society and who's there for their own self-interest. And it's like, I love partying and everything. I think maybe we should consider how we do it properly, but I'm also on the complete other side. I say, you know what, let's just fucking party, let's just get it over with.
Of course.
Let's just let corona run through us. I told you in the car ride here about like Florida, where they don't do anything, and they do the Super Bowl with 70,000 people in a stadium, and they're just partying and living life. It's a little bit of a hard thing,
of course, and it's a lot of opinions. That's hard. But why I'm saying it...
A lot of truths.
Yeah, a lot of different truths. Why I'm saying it? Because it's clever.
Yeah.
If I think further, and we are in Heidelberg, a really cool society. So I think with the corona thing, we had like really small numbers for a long time. So maybe it's about the students, maybe it's about the people who are listening, I don't know. But we have good cards in this game. I want to repeat it. And it's not only about you getting infected and you infect somebody and you die. There are rules right now. And the police is out and the politics are giving us strict rules. Ooh. And if you want to succeed and party again and have the opportunity to dance under a bridge the whole night and not getting busted, you should listen to them. So we have to connect with politics, that we have a freedom to do and to do our stuff. Without a connection to it, it will be always underground and stressful. And we have to discuss. We have good arguments, but we need a connection to them.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
But it's also difficult to get a connection with them quite often.
Yeah, it is. It's. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it. We are players, and they are teams.
Yeah, no, that's very true. No, I sort of learned a lot from like Corona, sort of like of what I want to learn from life. And I hope a lot of other people did it.
About character, some guy told me in the beginning of Corona, yeah, crisis shows character, and I was like, yeah. Right. And after a few months, I was, wow, yeah, I know my character now better than any time before. And I know the character of my roommate better than any time before. And all of my family is freaking out and we're having discussions we never had before. Yeah, shit, it's character time right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and just generally overall, like the developments that are happening, and I'm seeing sort of like a lot of people like reevaluate if they're like even in the right job, if they're happy with their life, and it's a great opportunity that we don't really see ever happening again, and there's the opportunity within this whole aspect.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, like I all of a sudden started taking into a lot of other things into consideration. I went in the direction of sort of thinking about like security and everything, and sort of like what to think of the future to come.
Yeah. Also, stress and fear is a thing that's there. So I feel stressed, and some days I have fear about something I never feared before.
Yeah.
So I cannot say it's not here, or people not feeling stress right now. We are all stressed. We are all having fear about this or that. And it's a little bit pushed, I think, right now. Yeah. But I never, as you said, I reflected on topics of my life I never thought about before. That's also true.
Yeah. And I hope a lot of other people were able to do that. But also going down to sort of the idea of fear. Fear is like a very important role in your like subconscious brain, because your subconscious brain is very, very fearful, and that's what your consciousness is there to do, is sort of protect your very fragile self. And often people will deny the truth, or whatever the truth may be. They struggle with that, and it may sit at fear. And my recommendation is don't let fear dictate your life. You gotta like really just let that fear go. And I also believe like the worst thing that can ever happen is you die.
Yeah.
For some people are super scared of death. I'm not a person who's scared of death. I'm gonna embrace it with open arms, because I'm like, thank God I'm out of here.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
So there's like a lot of the fear just can go away in that. But a lot of people fear death and fear their existence. And I also believe like Corona really shined light on how much of our existence is actually an illusion.
Yeah. Or a reality.
Yeah.
We build it ourselves. My tip for fear is face it. Even if it's a letter of Steuererklärung, if it's an SMS of your girlfriend, if it's the fear of death because of Corona, as soon as you face it, it's getting like better. Maybe not in the moment, but you need time that it's getting better, and you have to start to face it.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. And to be honest, fear is irrational. It's bigger than it like seems to. Like, you will not die even if you have the fear of death.
Yeah.
The most of the time. I mean, if not, we will not see again.
Yeah.
But face it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the starting point of everything. Face your fear. And yeah, I learn it every day. I'm not facing all of my fears, but I have to do it right now because the stress is a little bit up, and I don't want to feel stressed and having fear all the time. So face it.
Yeah.
And go further.
Yeah, grow some balls or ovaries and just get it over with, because it's actually not that bad. And it's crazy weird, like going against fear. That's sort of like been my theme for the last 3-4 years of my existence, is like getting over a fear and then realizing it's not that bad. It was really like you were catastrophizing and you were making it much more bigger, and which makes, ironically, it's like a Teufelskreis, the devil spiral, where it's like it just builds and builds and gets worse, and therefore you get more and more scared of it, instead of just doing it. And
but I can tell you, as we said, our brain can change. And I told you about my Christian history.
Yeah.
And all of my life, I was afraid of hell. I'm honest. I could not sleep. I prayed hours.
They got you.
Not only for myself, it was for my best friends, because they were talking shit about God and I know they will burn in hell and I loved them. Whatever. What I can say now, a few days ago, I went to bed and I was like, I cannot sleep and blah, blah. And I thought about a lot of things. I mean, thoughts are random. And one thought was hell. And I had no fear. I was like, yeah, hell is illusion of some crazy people. I don't fear anything. I don't fear death or hell right now. And I knew that I had this fear for years.
Yeah.
More than 10 years I had this fear. You can change. I faced it. I did my studying on it. I read books. I really can recommend Hermann Hesse, by the way.
Yes.
Fuck yes. It changed a lot in my life. And yeah, you can change. And also fear will disappear. Yeah. And I experience it. So go for it.
That's really just going for it. Just getting it over with. Fears, it's an illusion, and sort of, you were speaking about hell, and it's sort of like, you can actually live in hell on this planet, in this actual existence, and ironically through fear, being scared of everything.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're like just tormented from your own fear, which is really just an illusion that you're constructing in your head. But then at the same time, you could also be living in heaven in the exact same position. So it sort of is like, how is your brain wired to think about perspective, and what is your perspective?
And in which mood you are. There are times for everything. There's time for fear. There's time for fun. There's time for honesty. There's time for truth, whatever. And if you feel afraid, that's also okay, but that's not all of it. What's really important to me is that we are creating our reality.
Yeah.
And this can change in a week.
Yeah. So it can change in a second. You see somebody get hit by a car and that changes your entire reality.
Palm. Yeah, you are. Yeah, right. And that's it. So yeah. If you are living in hell right now, change something. And if you are living in heaven right now, so it can change in a second.
Yeah, very true. But it's also difficult, the very first step of like trying to leave the hell that you sort of have created yourself, because it's really a perspective thing.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like difficult for a lot of people to figure out like why are they in hell? And you can start, like, I believe like it starts very simple with like, make your own bedroom a little bit nicer for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Make it something you're proud of.
Yeah. And imagine this is your castle. Mm-hmm. Like this is the place you are safe.
Yeah.
And if the place, I experience a lot of chaos in my room.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I experience times where I like fix every wire. It's a perfect studio. It's perfectly lightened out, and also there's smell I like, and everything is fresh. And after 2 weeks, it's chaotic again. But it's for me really important that I sort stuff, that I like do it for myself, that I know this place I feel good about. This is where I want to be. This is my home. This is where I can shut the door, and this is my place.
Yeah.
That's really important. And if this blaze as hell, go out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like this. I sitting at home and like everything is coming down, and I'm like, oh no. And the only thing I want to do is go outside, go for a walk. I don't want to do it, but that's the best thing I can do in this time. Yeah. Go out, go for a walk, and feel nature. Like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And often I start to to change stuff after it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now sometimes it begins with simply just doing laundry. Doing like what is like at least bearable.
Yeah. And drink water, stay hydrated. What the fuck? That's a life hack. I know, like a lot of people, even the listeners of us, they will reflect and say, I drink not enough water in a day. Like read about it. That's so important.
I think like 80% of people don't drink enough water.
Wake up, drink water. Drink water the whole day. Drink. That's the main consumption we need.
Yeah.
And this, I have to shout it out. That changed my life.
Shout out water.
Yeah. I have water next to my bed and next to my working space.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And that's more important than you think.
By the way, if you need water, we got water here as well.
I really need to pee.
If you want to go ahead, we can just take a break and you go ahead.
Yeah, what's the plan? I mean,
we can still keep going. I'm down to keep going.
Cool. Then I do
just go take a piss.
For toilet.
You know what? I'll go take a piss as well, since we'll just do this and we'll cut it back. Right.
Nice.
And we're back.
Wow.
No, it felt great. It was much needed. I also see it as like somewhat of like a little bit of a compliment for this podcast. If we need to go pee, it means that we've been talking enough bullshit for
of course,
a good time. That piss was much needed.
Yeah, I can tell you.
And then we start speaking about water. Didn't help.
Wow. Yeah, of course. We started talking about water and it was like, oh shit, I need to pee now. It's like under the a shower, and you started showering. Oh no, I think I have to pee first. Like, if water is in the game, it changed everything.
Yeah, that's very true. But we were speaking about water. Now, water is something definitely underrated. I don't do enough water consumption, but because I know I don't do enough water consumption because I get lost in my day, I actually make a rule in the morning that I drink 3 cups, 200 milliliters big. So 600 milliliters of water in the morning, first thing when I wake up. There was a time when I was like super, super hyper productive, working a full-time job, and then like also building this bus and doing other projects where I was like literally up at like 5:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, fully doing. Then I was like putting squeezes of lemon and ginger, ingwer, into my water just to get myself like an energy boost.
Yeah.
So I take care of like at least my main water consumption in the morning, and then right before bed as well. Probably like not 3 cups, but rather 2 cups. So getting at least 400 milliliters, but that really only comes down to 1 liter of water. And that's not even enough. But next to my bed is always water, and at my workspace, so I'm at least going through 1 bottle of water per day. So like getting 2 liters, but I think like you're supposed to be drinking like 4 liters. I don't know.
But it's the same. I mean, we talk about this stuff and we are really wise, man. But my everyday life is of course not like this.
Yeah.
I have this water next to me, but I not every time grab it.
Yeah.
But I'm honest. If I drink enough, I perform better. Yeah. I feel better. Yeah. I getting more into whatever I want to do. And sometimes we talked a lot about urge and changing our brain and stuff. You need urge. It need urge. Need.
Yeah. The need urge. The urge too.
Yeah. To change something, or you to be like more specific. You have to be thirsty.
Yeah.
To drink.
Yeah.
And what is Bewusstsein in English?
To be conscious, aware, self-aware.
You have to learn stuff, and then learning is not the end. being conscious about it.
Yeah.
And if you are thirsty, remember yourself to drink water and not drink whatever, drink a coffee, smoke a cigarette, go out, whatever, search for something. There is a need, you have to fulfill it. So it's that easy. But if you are not thirsty, you don't want to drink.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to get thirsty is go for a walk, run, go outside, be like sport.
Be a little bit active. Don't be a couch potato.
If you are sweating, you need to drink. Yeah. That's a rule. So that could also help. In my opinion, if I not like activate my body once a day, I cannot eat, I cannot sleep, I cannot drink like I sit down on the couch the whole day and do nothing. So it's
and that's like a Teufelskreis, devil circle within that self.
And if you're feeling good and I feel like I don't have to change something, good. But if you want to change something, believe in it.
Yeah.
And experience it and like be conscious.
And the change starts with drinking more water and doing your laundry.
I can tell you, start with this water trick. Yeah. It will change you. Because the first thing in the morning is, I drank a lot of alcohol yesterday. If I drink this water, this half-liter water, I know how my body is feeling, what I've done yesterday, and how I will perform the next 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah. So it really gives back what's inside. Like it reflects you on a different way. Yeah. Also, that's what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Are there like any? You were talking about like activating your body and everything. Is there like anything that you're doing specifically to sort of like activate yourself?
Yeah. Walking. Like of course, jogging is better than walking, but I think
walking is better than nothing.
That's it. And also it has something to do with your brain. Yeah. If you are sitting in a room or in a place and you are really concentrated or you are in a box of thinking, you are concentrated on whatever, a task or on your computer and whatever. But this walking is you moving through space. Mm-hmm. Like you're moving your body, you're listening, what you are seeing through space, and this is activating your brain in a different way. It's more or less the opposite of sitting in a room being concentrated. So and the one thing is not good without the other, and the other side around. Sometimes I feel great being concentrated and productive, and on the other hand sometimes I need to walk and let it go, and my brain does the whole work by its own, and I only have to watch the sky and be amazed of the sun. And that's why I call walking. It's moving through space. It's different. Your eyes will do different stuff. Your brain will do different stuff. And skating. I experience skating as if I'm really down and I feel like I have to do something, I go skate. Because it's somehow creative. It's by your own. It's you against the board, and it's always with friends. And I was 25 when I started skating, and the children under the bridge were like 10 to 15.
And you're like skating at the 10 and 15-year-olds.
Hey, they were so much better. I was asking anything, and but the cool thing, they respected me. It was cool. And I feel like, I can come here often, and somehow everybody's doing it like this. They want to chill, and they want to do sports. That's it. That was my final thing. I also play football and basketball and running. I'm really good at long distance running, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I smoke, I know, but I'm actually really good. I don't know why. Maybe it's the talent.
Maybe it's just the fact that you quite often when I see you doing things, or when I catch wind of what you're doing things like almost in like a marathon type style.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Metropolink, it was like 2-3 days, and I'm like, I can just see you haven't slept at all, but you're like still pedaling through the whole entire thing. Like Metropolink, I think there is like you're probably like 48 hours straight awake.
Yeah, sometimes there is a point when a project, when I'm all in, like there's a project I really like, and then it's some kind of, okay, I need more time. Okay, I need really more time. Okay, if I invest everything, it will be great. Then I start to sleep in the place or not sleep in the place and start working during night. And sometimes it's like, okay, if I sleep now, I will like forget what I wanted to do, or I will disconnect to the vibe or whatever. And so I push till I'm till you're
over. Done. And then you don't want to touch it again.
Yeah. And I really like this overmatch thing. And also I did a stream with the Fingerhut. No,
you did the Heidelberg
Fusion. Fusion at Heidelberg.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if the name is not correct, or if the festival is not liking it. I don't want to like connect to the festival. I was mad that Fusion Festival was not taking place, so I was like, we need DJs and we need a 48-hour stream right now. And I started to do it in my room. That's why my room is green, actually. Yeah. It's like this.
No, but you pretty much like ran your room by yourself.
Yeah.
And you had like bands miking and everything.
I had 8-hour performance, 2-hour calm down, go to bed, then 6 hours sleep, 8-hour performance. So it was 3 days like this, and I was like, yeah, I'm the guy. It really catches me if I'm into it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was like so overwhelming. I remember the last day, it was Dave Bacon and Olivia playing, and I was really stressed after all this time. And they came in and were like, hey, cool.
Like cool. The two chillest people in Heidelberg.
And I'm honest, they started doing the set, and I was like, okay, now I chill. So I consume you. You are working now, and I'm chilling now. Yeah. So, and it was so fucking good. Wow, I really liked it. It really like. At this point, it came back. Yeah. All what I put into this project, and I talked to Dave and Paula often now, and I really like them all.
Yeah,
they're cool. I had a good time, actually.
Cool.
It was a little bit overmuch. I had to sleep an hour a week or two.
No, but that was when I heard that, like, you were pretty much, because Heidelberg Fusioniert was like essentially two places. It was your bedroom and the Kopfkino's hub at Philip's place. Shout out Felp.
Felp. I really needed this, guys. Sorry, but I was so chaotic, and I really a lot of ideas, and I want to do it now. But these two guys, they did the timetable. They connected everybody. They did the online thing. I like them. Shout out to them, of course.
I think it was both of you guys were both planning at the same time to do 24.
And you connected us. Now I got a whole story. I called you.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, Philip, I have this great idea of a really long stream. And I need people and DJs, and maybe you can give me your list of DJs. And you were like, hey, there's Phelps and this other guy. And they want to do the same. They had the same idea, actually.
On the same weekend, even. That was the funniest part. Because it was legit, like, both of you guys reached out to me, sort of just like speaking on. You were more like, I need DJs and help and Unterstützung. And I was like, I was definitely down to like help in whatever way I could. And
your biggest help was the connection. I'm honest. Wow. The next day I went to them. You told me, they had the same idea, and this was like the change.
Yeah.
Because before I was a crazy guy who wanted to stream 24 hours.
Yeah.
But after it was
you would have killed yourself.
Yeah. And then it was a concept like 48 hours, but 8 hours per
location.
Yeah, for location. And this made sense. And all of a sudden we had a program, and all of a sudden all DJs came to us and said, hey, yeah, I want to play. And we had no problem to find people, actually. Yeah. Everybody wanted to do a set.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can announce it. If the Fusion Festival is not taking place this year,
you guys are going to do it again.
I swear to God.
Cool. That would be cool if you guys were.
So it's for my side. I have contact with the guys and they are positive about, but this is not official. Like they will do it, but in my heart, I will do it.
Okay.
Of course, I
will
will
still do it no matter what.
I do it no matter what, and they were really about, yeah, we can help you.
Okay. That was cool. No, it was definitely something I was really taken back at Heidelberg. It was literally the entire Heidelberg scene just came together for this event. And there's like people that I was not even expecting to like be part of it. Like I think wasn't Dominic Baer?
Yeah.
He showed
Funny.
up. Like
I thought about him right now when we're talking. Yeah. Dominic Baer, yeah. He was actually one of the first artists. So, and the chaotic guy, I printed my room the day before Queen. So I was the whole night with Patrick. Patrick helped me so much. Alganix.
Yeah.
He also
very nice guy.
Wow. I like his techno. Like he has a sense of techno I really appreciate.
It's a fine taste.
Yeah, and he helped me. He was my only helper. He helped me the whole night. He was the guy for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then what? Yeah, but what I wanted to say also is the whole DJ list.
Yeah,
they played. It was more or less your work before. You had this project with
BSF
this
NJR to go.
Yeah, NJR to go. And a lot of DJs experience, I want to play. And Philip, he's doing a series. I connect with Philip. I also told 2 of my friends to connect to you.
Yeah.
And they were the day they wrote you. And so we had a list of DJs, of Heidelberg DJs on YouTube with this no joke.
That was the plan.
That was so good. I was like, I want this. And I asked him. I was like, yeah, nice. Yeah, and Dominic Baer, I like him. And actually, I know him from my hometown. Okay. When I was a child, I met him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is he German? Because he speaks English like an American.
Yeah. I know that he was like traveling a lot with his family. Like his family was...
so he was like just an international kid.
I think he's an international. Yeah, but I like Dominic because he's of his consistency.
Mm-hmm.
During the last weeks, he dropped.
He dropped his album.
His album and a gift. If you wrote him, you get a gift. His album and a specialty, and he's really caring about his people.
Oh yeah,
and. I'm honest, my gig was like really, really beginner style, and he is more professional. And in the end, it's why I don't know if it was on the level he's known for.
Yeah.
But I can tell Dominic that I had 1 year to like fix all my sound problems, and if I do it again, he will be invited. Yeah, and he will get a perfect 1 hour show because nice. I'm now. More experienced with live stream, with all the setups, with like what resolution, how do you master for a live stream, how do you whatever. I needed time. It was like the fire starter, but after it I started to work on it, and I think this year I will be ready for a proper live stream.
No, and that's sort of like what's admirable about like the work that you do is you just take it on and you take it at face value, and you like you don't I don't think you hold yourself up to a big standard, especially in regards to sort of like when it's something new. A lot of people will be so scared of like making mistakes along the way, whereas you're just like accepting of the mistakes, and you see that as like a learning opportunity to really hone your craft. And it's sort of cool like that. I think that was like your first stream ever. Yeah, so it's like you legit threw yourself in like the most difficult waters of trying to organize 24 hours essentially of like sleeping, streaming.
Yeah, and this whole green screen stuff. And I know I was in Streamlabs, and I during day played, I did like the screen stuff.
Yeah,
I had this projection, and then on the other side I was like, okay, what I do? Okay, it would be cool if his head is 3 times on the picture. And okay, now play. So I played computer while they played music. So it was
but you're also learning at the whole time. You're just experimenting.
It was like it was big learning. Firestar, I got hyped. I got a big learning. I did failures, of course.
Yeah.
A big failure was the quality. Like we need 1080p and a proper sound quality. In the beginning was really underground. Like we need something. But I got better. I also got new experience. Yeah, and for me it was the best thing. Like,
But see, now with like what you just put in this whole year, it's like worst case scenario, if you ever need money, you can go work at a streaming agency doing anything digital.
I cannot talk about my projects because they are with other people and they are not released.
Yeah.
But I'm really into live streaming right now.
Cool.
Also in a professional way. Yeah. That I support bands, or that I support Krankenhaus.
A hospital.
A hospital. For example, I have ideas for hospitals. I worked at a lot of events. And also, for example, there is events in hospital to connect with the patient, with the client, Patienten.
Yeah, patients.
Patients, yeah. And also there are different structures. And if we are socially disconnected, there are fields that need live streaming right now, tomorrow. So they connect to their patients, to their fans, to whatever. And experience that I like it, and that my quality is solid, and now I got booked. That's cool.
That's sick. That's really sick.
Yeah.
Just how it
also for me as an artist, come on, if I have 500 people online, they want to watch me in 5 years, that would be great, man.
Yeah.
So, and also imagine how I can how I could teach people. Like I could do like workshops and all the stuff. So no, I don't want to talk about details because I really need money and don't want to waste my ideas. But I'm on streaming right now. Yeah, that's the point, that I'm really experienced and I want to go further now.
Maybe after the show, I can throw some ideas at your way of sort of just generating revenue or like getting money in your pocket.
I'm totally open for this.
Because I think that's sort of like not to toot my own horn, but that's somewhat of like my natural skill is trying to figure out how to get money. So, and I think right now with the way the world is set up, I think there's a lot of opportunities to get a fair share. But it depends, like, where are you going to try to get your money? Are you going to try to get the money from the bands or the artists or from the consumers, or just get a sponsorship? That's like my belief is like, just get some corporation that just wants to slap their logo onto something and they can sponsor that.
Of course, that's business.
It is business. But it's sometimes also interesting, like especially in like the arts, and I think I've spoken about this on like every single podcast that I've recorded, is sort of like the money aspect of it, because it's like you don't want to do it for the money because then it just ruins it. But at the same time, the money is what like
paying my rent.
But like also, if you want to think about it, like, don't you want your artist to only focus on art? Just like, don't you want your doctor to only be focusing on medicine? Would you really want your doctor who's taking care of you physically to also have to work at a cafe and give out coffee?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I would like that I get money from the government and they say, do whatever you want. I believe in you. But that's not it. That's not where we are.
I also, I don't think we'll ever really get deep enough into it. Like, I'm also like very anti-government to the point where I don't even want the government's money.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the position where like mentally I'm like, I don't want to give the government my money, but I don't want the government to give me anything.
Okay.
Can we do like this fair trade? I don't give you anything, you don't give me anything, and we're all good. But at the same time, like I totally understand, like totally cool with paying taxes as long as I know it's going into a better society. That's also why I'm actually, it's a big reason of like why I'm in Germany is I feel like at least if I'm going to pay taxes, it goes more or less to a better cause, unlike in America where you pay your taxes and most of it just goes to war.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the things that I think about. And I am a firm believer, like, build a good society, and you can do that through taxation. But it's but I also understand how money works, and there's so much money that's just being wasted on bullshit.
Yeah.
And I also think at the individual lives, and I think that's also why a lot of people don't have enough money. I put that with air quotes. They say they don't have enough money because they consume stupid things. I'm not pointing my finger at like you who just complained about not having enough money, but there's a lot of people out there who are like in the rat race and like stuck in it because they are unfulfilled with maybe the way they make their money, so they need to like compensate by buying unnecessary things such as a very nice BMW. And
yeah, you're right. And why not pointing at me? I mean, we are all in this world. We all have to face this issue, and I can tell that I'm not a good businessman, so I wasted money, I can say so. But somehow money is not the only thing for me, so I don't work by money.
It shouldn't be.
I work better with money. I'm honest, but that's not the reason I live, and that's not the reason I do the whole stuff here. So but the older I get, the more I have to deal with this. Yeah. So I have to understand where it's coming from. What does it give me? It gives me also opportunity. I mean, if I have 10,000 euro and I don't need them, I really would like to pay a lot of artists for a good time. Yeah. And you need it. But if this is the only like motor in your whatever business or you're thinking,
you just take the fun away.
Yeah, or you getting rich and be alone.
Yeah, that's very true. It's a difficult subject, I think, to talk about.
It's difficult, but it's worth to talk about. Yeah, because I know this discussion with the club, how much money, and often I stopped talking before it gets to money. Yeah. So I'm in, I like your vibe, I'm there at Friday,
and therefore they're just sitting there like, oh wow, I think we're gonna get him for free.
And then you read some payers and what, they earn so much money and whatever, and it's unfair.
Well, it depends like what club, and like it's always like very dependent on the business model, and like at least for me, even like in my like freelancing, I do a lot of freelancing work, and I'll have situations where like an artist writes me about like setting up their social media or how to set up their website, and an artist I know has no money. I will completely do it for free. I'll give them consulting, I'll give them the advice, but then it's like I'll know there's somebody who actually makes enough money with their company to be able to pay me. Then I ask them sort of like, okay, this is my rate, and it's very subjective depending on like how much money are they making. I have no problem with taking from like a big company a large amount of their money, but I have a problem when it comes to a friend or somebody who's doesn't earn enough money, and I know it hangs very much on the business model. So like even with clubs, like I know some clubs they take their money and they like offer tickets at a reasonable price, and they pay their bartenders and their technicians good prices, so obviously they're going to have less money, so I'm not going to bother with them. But then there's some clubs or something that will sell $10 cocktails, €10 cocktails, and I'm like, yo, fuck you guys. Like,
yeah, of course. Like big cake, there's a big piece for me.
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
Course.
Very nice analogy. If it's a big cake, give me my fair share of the cake.
Yeah, of course. A good rule I learned from a really wise man. I don't want to call his name because I'm not sure he want to, but he told me, whenever it comes to business, do it win-win.
That's how it should be. And that's like actually, I'm pro-capitalist.
Yeah. And that's it. Make it to your and to the other. So it's a plus on money or experience or connection or whatever. Define it for yourself, what you are getting out of it, and make sure that the other part is getting something out of it. And then you are cool.
And I also find it very important to be very transparent in such a communication.
Yeah.
Talking to the other part, like especially if you're the person who's getting the money, and you believe you need more, you should tell them, hey, I believe I need more. And the same thing is, I'm a person who would really like to open up his entire accounting book and really show, hey, this is where all the money's going. Here's actually what I'm pocketing, and this is how much everybody else is pocketing. Here's all the costs, because quite often I've also seen a lot of people don't, and this is also from my own experience, I'll run into a business and there will be so many costs that I was not expecting.
Yeah,
and
of course, experience.
Yeah, and I think it gets better as like you get older, and you just got to keep going at it. But and then like people will only see the surface of it and not know like all the other costs that are behind it.
Yeah. And also often if people going to a party and pay €5, they are like, yeah, this is how it should be. To be honest,
€5 may not even like pay everybody.
If you are not able to pay $10 for your favorite funk band. Come on, they are rehearsing for 20 years now.
Yeah.
You should understand. I think Corona is also a time where a lot of business are broke now, and a lot of people understand how much value got this culture thing.
Yeah,
like how much value it gives us back. Like in our everyday life, in our experience life, in our drunk life, in our party life, whatever. Yeah. It costs money because people like doing nothing in their life but playing guitar. Yeah. You should realize that they are going not out in the morning and having whatever 8 hours of computer work, going home to their family and having 3 children, being a little bit stressed and looking football. No, it's like they are going to studio, they rehearse 8 hours a day, and then that's their life.
Yeah.
They're thinking about music all day long, and they are the people you see on stage.
Yeah.
So you should really think about how mighty and what is how mighty it is and what does it cost.
But art is also like a super difficult thing in the sense of distributing art, and that's where it's sort of like I see the failure in sort of like the distribution channels and sort of how we consume art. So it's like, okay, they open up the streaming idea of now we pay only $9.99 per month for Spotify, and then now Spotify gets to pocket a little good piece of it, and then the record labels gets to pocket a little piece, and then it finally gets to the artist. Sort of like where within that, and it's sort of like maybe we as fans may need to also think about how are we consuming this art.
That's a personal question, I think.
But it's also difficult as somebody who consumes a shit ton of art. If it wasn't for streaming platforms and the only way I could hear an album is by paying a whole album, I would be broke. I would I would have no shot. Like
I know I invested €100 for the Metropolitan gig because I really downloaded every fucking song I liked. It was €100 for I think 70 to 80 songs. It's 125 at I think 125 to 150 a song right now. And I only pay a song because I love it and I cannot live without it anymore. So it's like not it's a song I listen to a lot of songs, and a lot of people show me, yeah, I listen to this song and this song. But if you, there is this feeling of I need it, and not everybody needs it. This is a hype. I need to go to the hype. It's more like, this speaks to me and I need it right now because it translates something. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a journey everybody has to go by its own. Yeah. There is a lot of things, and there's also this one thing you can experience. There is this comparison of this and this DJ and this rapper and this genre. And there's also this, I'm at home alone and I feel it. Yeah. So, and don't forget this part. This is the most important part for me. Like I want to call Trettmann. Trettmann is a rapper in Germany. Yeah. And he once rapped like, gib mir einen Song, den ich fühlen kann. Give me one song that I feel, or that's speaking to me. And that's it. Like, I need one song and one tune that speaks to me, and I can project my whole life in it, my whole experience in it. I don't need a 150 playlist right now. Yeah, but this is something people have in painted art. Somebody had it in music to hear it. Yeah. Other people see it in sport or in dancing, and we have different channels. But yeah, if you experience it, there is always this mass and the one piece. Yeah. So, and don't forget it.
That's very true. And I think we need to either spend more time buying music or also paying for tickets for their concerts. That's where like a lot of artists make their money nowadays. Or buying their merchandise. I'm a big fan of merchandise, of band t-shirts or artist t-shirts.
And if you take care of your money, you will only give your money to people you like. Yeah. So you will support the band you really like, and you think this is a value and this is something people should listen to. And for example, I do it. Of course, I do it like this. I pay for my tracks because I want to support them. Yeah. I paid for Ableton Live because I said, I'm not a producer right now, but if I pay it, it got a value. Yeah. So, and I really want it, and I now I earn money and I pay it. Yeah. And this is how I start. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. No, that's a very good point. However, I bootleg my Ableton.
You should not release. You get really big money problems.
Really? Ooh, I just opened that. And I've also released
to all DJs, if you're producing, you should have a license.
If you're putting it out there. I don't think they're gonna follow this trail, and I also don't think I have this music sales volume. I've never even sold an album. I have it uploaded and everything, never sold the copy. Nice. I think I average like 100 streams per year on my album, so it doesn't even pay off the cost of the distribution. That's very good point. If you are out there actually releasing music and you're making money off of it, I definitely think you should contribute your part. Yeah. I ideally would actually like to move into a much more open sourced world where it's sort of like everybody pays their fair share and they just sort of go off of their own values of it. Yeah. Because I really believe in the inherent good of people. Of if an artist is making, let's just get really over dramatic here, if they're making 100,000 a year, I see no reason why they can't pay 10,000 of that 100,000 to all the stuff that they get their sounds from, or makes their sounds possible. I'm not saying that they need to fork over 50% of their paycheck. Of course, 40% of it's going to go to the government. But I think they should be allowed to sort of look at sort of like all their costs and be like, all right, this is how much I can give back. Yeah. And if we were to sort of go into that model, it would maybe allow other people to really step up, because quite often it's also the cost of entry that prevents musicians from getting in.
Yeah.
It's the artist who doesn't want to spend the 400 euros on Ableton, so they go and get like a different program. I don't know what's a free music program, but they don't produce at the level that they would if they were producing Ableton. And I think it's sort of just going into this sort of like perspective of like, all right, as soon as you start making money, you should at your own moral value be willing to pay for the programs. But I also believe if you're just a hobbyist and you're just making a couple of beats in your room, go ahead, go use it for free, because
or come to my studio and take a free lesson, but only the first. No, that's exactly. You should start and take any opportunity, but if you are into it, then make sure that you are like put your cigarettes into an ashtray. So pay your tracks, get out and pay for Ableton, get your releases, get paid, whatever. The start is not like, the start is an experience. Also for me, of course, I downloaded any VST in the beginning, and I wanted to have any sample, and I wanted the bootlegs, and I want to remix the newest songs, and that's cool. Yeah, of course you feel like the best producer if you can like mix again your favorite song. So, but that's not the end. That's maybe a motivation in the beginning. But I'm also not making commercial for companies. If you can do anything with a program without money. There are so many programs you have to pay a cent. You can produce music today. But for the step further, you have to think about money. You have to think about companies. You have to think about commercial. You have to think about this stuff because
sucks.
But this is the ugly part of art, you know. I don't know.
Nobody really knows.
And I can say that Ableton changed my life, even if I not want to I don't want you to spend all your money for this company. I don't know this company. I don't know anybody of this company, but it changed my perspective of production. It was this loop thing, and also arrangement and session, and I looked to 10 different artists and 10 different working things. Like they use the program for their own, and it's more like opportunity. You can experience new stuff. But with the years, it's also only a puzzle of my sound. It's not my sound. It's not that I'm sitting here with Ableton and only do this. There is a synth, there's a drum, there's some guitar, and also this Behringer X32 mixer. I have to talk about it. This changed a lot in my studio. And new stuff like autotune. We haven't talked about autotune actually.
What's your thoughts on autotune?
I have to talk about it because if you're doing a studio right now, there are a lot of people coming to your studio and asking for autotune. So my personal experience with it is positive, because the first guy I listened to was a good friend of mine. He started doing autotune tracks because he liked the music and stuff, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm more into singers than into autotune and whatever. But then I saw that there were autotune singers. People who were not able to sing like Madonna or like good singer or whatever. But with autotune, they felt free and experienced themselves. And also this guy, I talk about Basuki. You know him?
No.
Basuki, he also, I work with him as a good friend of mine. And every time he is on the mic, he's smiling and he's catching the crowd. So you are 5 people in a room, and this guy makes you laugh, and he's on stage, and I like it, and people like it, and he's experienced this whole musical thing through autotune. And at this point I was like, okay, my idea was to bring people to music, experience themselves, not being judgy or stuff. And this is 100% this is 100% what he's doing with autotune. Yeah. So if you like autotune and not doing music, start doing music with autotune. That's my what I'm
recommendation.
Thinking about. Yeah.
Actually, I really have been wanting to get into autotune. I just haven't been able to find an autotune program. Yeah, that's just sort of my personal journey with autotune. I haven't found the right one where I'm like, all right, cool, this is how I'm going to use it. But I do share a very similar perspective, because I think what happens is there's that self-conscious of like being unsure of whether or not you can sing. So autotune just like sort of protects that, which gives you the free room to actually reach your emotions, because quite often we don't, in art, we don't express our emotions out of insecurities.
And right.
Autotune is just a tool which can remove that a little bit of this aspect of insecurity, to allow you to sort of, like you said, just freely express yourself and let that fall off your shoulders. So I'm actually a fan of autotune. I'm also a fan of Kanye West and the work that he did with autotune.
Nice. And I can say everybody who is coming to my studio will take. I will go put autotune on and a headphone on your ears and start singing with you, because everybody likes it. That's my experience. I had a lot of techno or electronic DJs. Let not talk about techno because it's a bigger space. Like a lot of electronic people, and they were like not singers and not pop musicians, but as soon as they started a song with autotune and listened to themselves, they start smiling and were like, oh, wow, what's this? That's funny, yeah. Like this, and you are listening to, oh, this is shit again, but he likes it. And this is the experience.
Okay.
And after it, you listen to the string and you're like, okay, that's not far from the things I listen to in radio. So it's about a feeling, about as you said, in the moment, letting yourself go. Go for it. Yeah. And it's try it at home. I would recommend it. Try it at home, even if you are not a singer, not a rapper, not an autotune lover. Try it once.
Get yourself on autotune.
Yeah, it's like a little fun, like drunk karaoke or stuff like that.
That's why karaoke's fun, is because you don't even notice that you're out of tune. Yeah.
Out of tune.
Yeah, out of tune.
Yeah,
it's
funny. Out of tune and auto tune. It's the same.
Can you hand me a beer?
Yeah, sure.
You can go ahead and grab yourself one too, if you want.
Yeah, but I said that was my opinion. But my opinion actually is I'm more into vocoders than into autotune.
Vocoders are sick.
What the fuck?
Those are trippy.
Those are Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Fuck. If you listen to Daft Punk voices, make sure this is not autotune. This is vocoder, and this is another thing.
Have you ever put instruments through your vocoder?
Yeah.
Dude, I do. Yeah, I recently discovered that and changed my production.
Yeah, of course. Ableton make it possible. So there is this vocoder stuff with the span vocoder, and you can like shape anything. That's so crazy. Yeah.
Cool, sick. Do you have any hacks for Ableton? For the people who are listening, that like they should get in, or do you want to keep those hacks to yourself?
Yeah, of course. These are my private. No. Yeah, I mean, if I would do a lot of money out of it, maybe I could actually. So pay me money, so I tell you. Okay. No, there is one thing I could tell for sure, because I have it from another guy. It was the gig with Fatty in Betriebswerk.
Yeah.
And we had a good gig, and I felt hype, and the band was like, yeah, good show, nice, cool. What is this place? And I like these people. And my only thought was, the guy who came after us, it was Unshine.
Unshine, yeah.
Unshine.
Yeah.
I thought he got a better sound than me.
He has actually a very nice sound.
And the second he stepped out of the DJ thing, I was like, hey, what is your, like, say me one thing we did good and say one thing we have to change. So I don't want to critic, I'm emotional, but please say me one thing that we are on the right path and one thing you think we can like be better. And he said, yeah, your improvisation and your sound, super, like live music and electronic, wow.
Yeah.
But you really should have an extra channel for your bass drum. This is electronic music. And this changed everything. So make sure you have your bass drum extra. You don't have to do like crazy compression or crazy
but you can tweak it nicely.
It makes it different.
Yeah.
The bass drum is an instrument by its own. It's in the middle, it's big, it guides you through the journey, but it has to be really stable.
Yeah.
And after he said it, I was like, ding, this is it. I went home, I did it, everything got better. So make sure your bass drum is on an extra channel.
Instead of your drum patterns all being on one.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But that's also like something that I've gotten used to is every single drum sound gets its own channel.
Yeah. For me, I do a lot of live performing, so I have groups. I have this low, this middle, and this high group.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for performing. In production, I would say, do it.
Sick.
Yeah. It also makes sense with the frequency, because if you think about frequency, it really makes different things with you. If you think about a bass drum, it's always thinks about the ass of the track. This is the ass of the track.
Ass of the track. It sounds pretty misogynistic.
Or the butt. So it has to be big, and it has to like it has to move your ass. Like But like if you listen to a snare, it's like
it's that next snap.
Oh yeah. So
it's the next snap.
So here is high.
Yeah.
The higher frequency, and this is the lower frequency. It's in your body, actually.
It sounds, it's very similar to the chakra system as well.
Yeah.
The frequencies, the lower chakras have lower frequencies.
I never read about it, I'm honest, but cool.
Yeah, no, but also I think the reason why we love bass and the kick so much is also that's like the first sounds we hear when we start coming to sort of existence in the womb.
Yeah.
We hear the heartbeat.
Yeah, you're right.
Do-do, do-do.
And now, because it's under the and also the if you look in a physical way, the wave, the lower wave, they need more time. If you have a high frequency wave, it's like less time per Schwingung.
The
movement is faster, and in lower frequency it's really slow. And it's also mighty. So if you are hearing a big bass in nature, that's fear, that's an explosion, something that's big. But if you listen to a bird, there can be 100 birds in a high frequency. It doesn't stress you. It's like, oh, nice. And you can listen to 100 different birds at the same time, and it's not stressing you. But if there were a lot of basses you would run, you would think, oh, that's an earthquake or something like that.
And it gets dark and scary.
Yeah.
Dark techno or industrial techno, these big...
Yeah, but for me, dark techno, it's often if the high frequency is pushed, because it's high frequency is also cold for me. So bass is warm and high frequency is cold, and anxiety and fear is cold and the high frequency for me. So if I listen to really sharp, really fast hitting techno, it has not this big vibe in the air as like hip hop or like other electronic styles. It has more like this distortion in the highs.
Yeah. That's very interesting to see it as like warm and cold, because it is true. It's almost like the evolution of humans, like the bass drum is like the fire. the fire, the spark that gets things going, and sort of that animalistic instinct that we're all sort of we stem from. And then sort of as you go in the higher frequencies, it gets more and more intellect, but away from the animalistic self. That's just sort of like my view, and sort of like me trying to fuse your view into my view. And I think that's also why, like, if you listen to like African tribe music, there's also out there an NTS. There's an NTS radio documentary where they pulled out a sample from African tribes, where a woman went and documented the drum patterns of African tribes, and like just not the drum patterns but the sounds. She, from some university in the city of London, she got sponsoring to go down there and just document it. And those lower drums are like very animalistic, and don't feel too complicated or intellect. And it's also like a kick drum, something on the low end should never really be. It's difficult to make it complicated.
It's difficult.
It comes better, it sounds better, it tastes better if it's just very simple and basic and predictable.
And for the production, really dry, like in the middle, no experience. I know a lot of techno producers need this big hall on the space, but I would say bass and hall, I like this reverb stuff, and bass is not like fitting together. Bass is simple, in the middle, and big. It guides you. It's the point that drives you through a set, and all the other crazy stuff is in the high or in the panning stuff. Imagine a bass drum that's panned. That's not possible. That's ill. Like, God, that crashes. And it got further if you are looking to electronic music and to vinyl. If you are pressing vinyl, it's like there is a needle, and the needle has to be like in the Spur, whatever,
in the track, the lane.
In the track, and to make sure that the needle is not jumping and the needle is really soft guided through your thing, it looks like this, like a V. If you close up your vinyl. Like this
under like the microscopic view,
in the microscopic, the V. And in the middle down there is the bass. Imagine the bass would go left and right panning. It would jump like through the track, like you have to. It would not be stable for your performance, because you are a DJ. You need this 128.3 BPM all the time. You need a stale. So. A lot of bass is pressed in the middle, like in the sweep, in the middle down. So there is this frequency, and there you can play whatever you want. So this is how somebody told me. I'm not a professor, but I think also in the vinyl production you make sure that your bass is in the middle and really simple. So this is how stable your
track will be. But now, after hearing this, I'm now inspired to go try to make a panning bass.
Do it.
See if it somehow can come. But it'll probably be more theatrical than actual like danceable music. Because I can imagine it being in like a theatrical setting where it's bouncing right and left and taking the listener on a journey.
And also, if you do like sound design and you want to do a mighty sound, of course it's cool that your bass has a big reverb. This makes it big, this makes it mighty. So it's only the genre and what you want out of it. And to be honest, I use a lot of delay on bass drums, but I filter it before, so it's never under 100 hertz. I think 100 hertz is more or less where we start to listen a different or to recognize the difference. If it's a guitar or voice, so if it's in the middle or in the high, under 100, there is no big difference to the shape or to the listening experience. If you do it with a bass drum, they start at 30 hertz. So 100 hertz is only a bassier punch, and if you are going like further, there's only the clip. So you can use this for like a bass drum, but not having a big bass.
Yeah, you're just gonna create unnecessary muddy noise.
Yeah, but that's my style. I really like clean. Like Punk Gerd once told me, your mixes are always so clean, and I think that's because I'm coming from instruments. The harmonics are always so clean, and I want to like really sober, really have clean mixes,
mold it nicely into a very nice shape and everything. But I'm also a fan of there's also like a scene developing of like distorted sounds, or like sounds that are just naturally muddy. Delroy Edwards is like my guy when it comes to that, where he does it sounds like his productions does not care whatsoever about sound design, but I think he actually designs his sounds extra to be all clumped together. But that's just all taste, genre related.
And that's a production and how you feel about sound and how you organize yourself and stuff. That's, do whatever you want, find your genre. Like I said, if you're progressive rock, you need wall of sound. You need this one-dimensional coming wow, you got all of the time. But for me, it's always interesting that there's a three-dimensional room, like left, right, panning, like frequency up to down, like bass to highs.
Front and back.
Front and back is volume. Like creating a little room inside a room is reverb. To have a delay under 30 milliseconds is to stretch out a sound. Over 30 milliseconds, it's for an effect. So you have to learn different techniques. You have to learn different genre. You have to learn your own stuff. Like, what do I like? Your own likings, whatever. And then connect it and do a snapshot of it. It's not that easy, but there is no right and wrong. There are different parameters you have to do jonglage.
Do jonglage.
Jonglieren. With
juggling.
Juggling. Like the ball.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people are out there producing music and how many people are going to be listening to this who produce music. But actually, I believe most of the people who listen to this podcast are actually music producers.
I think so.
Like, that's really also like the target of like who I really want to just try to inspire and get into contact with, or other producers. So it's cool. And every producer has their own like way of going about it. That's sort of the beauty behind it, is the individuality that can be found within a framework.
And I'm most attracted by people, they are totally different. That's weird.
Oh man, I think we've been actually coming now up to 3 hours, if not even 4.
And also it's dark outside. Wow,
yeah, that's what happened.
I really had fun with this talk.
So we're coming up on 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to cut it? Or?
No, there's I do everything raw, uncut, just show authentic self. And how we even spoke earlier about how like a lot of people will just like be on autopilot and going through their day while listening to music. A lot of people do that with their podcast. They listen to a podcast and they're just in their office, or they're cleaning their place, and
or don't know what to do with their time. It's 10 o'clock in the evening and listening on the computer like me. The last year.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of like who this is all for. And it's also just so people get to know more about you. And
cool.
Figure out sort of like your perspective on the world.
Yeah. And if you listen to this and have questions like about music, about what I do or whatever, ask Philip or ask me. That's totally cool. If I have time, I will, or I will answer you, but sometimes faster and sometimes later.
No, you're a funny character in the sense of like sometimes you're very active and sometimes you and you've told me this before. You just go dormant and
Yeah, I know. That's me.
But you know what, everybody, but I admire you for being pretty self-aware. Like that was like even like at the beginning of like getting to know you, you even like explained how you function, like especially like with your building things. You like building things and then just like taking
destroy
them apart.
It. Yeah, that's I don't know. I started it when I was a child. Every time I did this. Whatever, I created something, a house or a tower out of sticks, and then I destroyed it. And it was the same fun destroying it and building it. I don't know.
But see, like I think you're like the positive in that whole thing is, you probably don't have much of attachment to something that you've built. So it allows you to easily just break it down and move on to the next thing, which leads to getting more and more experiences. Yeah,
and I'm sure if I'm going home now, I will for sure have an hour thinking about everything I talked today.
Yeah.
And for sure there will be things I say to myself, oh God, why did I talk about this? Or why did I say it? But the second I think it, I'm okay, I have to think different. I have to like, whatever, this is not the 100 truth, but it's also not a failure. Maybe I have to disconnect these things from another or make a new experience. And this is how you get further. Like, be able to create something, but also be able to let it go, listen to yourself, be creative, go further, make whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah. And that's exactly why we don't edit this, because otherwise, if we were to edit it, there would be these important things that you're also saying that are left behind. Because it's like you're being transparent, you're explaining yourself, sort of like this is how I function. And I think it's important, especially in today's age where everybody's so superficial, to just get some like real talk, and that's sort of like what we accomplished here. So it's been a pleasure, but before we part ways, do you have anything that you want to share with the world?
In which case, like a sentence or
it can be whatever you want. It could be
okay. So this is my opportunity to there's something.
Yeah, what?
I believe climatic change will be the biggest topic of our life. I really believe it.
Climate change as in the weather?
Yeah.
Okay.
The overall thing, like how I think this, not Corona, not your ex-girlfriend, not your family, this will be the proper thing we will talk about the next 20 years. So make sure you got an attitude.
Oh, nice. All right, Ephraim. Ephraim.
Thanks you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, it was also a pleasure for me. I feel really hyped right now. Cool. I haven't had a talk like this for a year and a half.
Sick. That's wonderful.
Nice.
Right, cool. Thank you everybody for listening. See you around. Bye.
Bye.